Ow.
Hurry
Oh
up.
shit.
I'm live.
Oh shit.
All right. Thank you. Sorry. My son's a mama's boy.
What this dude do?
Touching stuff he's not supposed to be touching.
I know that.
Well, guys, we are live, so let me take over right now. The host is having some technical difficulties right now. He'll be right back with us, guys. Oh, there he is. He's back with us, guys. All right, now let's go.
Hey, time out. I'm about to just restart it.
Nah, don't restart.
No, we start. Let it go.
Let's go.
Oh, this shit is live. This is.
We already
crazy.
started. We're ready to go.
I got you.
Oh man. Anyways, all right. This is crazy.
Intro.
Let's go to another episode of the Sipping and Tripping podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's topic is a man's needs, infidelity, and the homewrecker. And the people that's sipping and tripping with me today is Mr. D.W. Howler, Chef Dennis, Ayanna, and Jenna.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Great.
Surviving good.
That's all. Hey, Yanni, the cat got your tongue?
I said
how's
good.
that?
Did you not hear me?
Oh, I missed it. Shit.
Don't start this on live now. Don't start acting up on live.
Oh Lord.
Don't do this.
Don't be a downer. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do this.
But as everybody know, I like to conversate, educate, and entertain. And I feel like today's going to be a good one. We're definitely going to entertain a lot of people today. So the first topic I want to get into is this: true or false? Men want women to need them, right? So somebody want to just jump in, or should I just go around the panel?
You go around the panel.
You ran a panel. Fine.
All right. So we'll start with the women first. Jenna, true or false? Men want women to need them.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Okay. Now, I don't want just like yes or no. Like let's get into a conversation with this. You know what I'm saying? So, you said some truth. Okay, elaborate on that.
So I feel like it is in a man's nature to want to be useful and to want to provide in some sort or fashion, whether it be physically, whether it be just whatever. Like men love to feel needed and appreciated.
Okay. Yanni?
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like after a while, like they'll do certain things in the beginning of a relationship, and then expect to push more, try to do what they're supposed to do. And if they don't, then I guess they feel like they don't. I don't know. You gotta forgive me for a little second. I'm a little nervous. I don't.
That's okay.
You're
That's
fine.
okay. There's no need to be nervous. It is all good. So,
always nervous.
So you personally, Chef, do you want a woman to need you?
All right, so that's a slippery slope. And the reason why it's a slippery slope, because you got to think about it. It's a balance. A man needs a woman and a woman needs a man. So it's not just a man needs a woman to want him. You know what I'm saying? It goes both ways. It goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have just an analogy. If you think about it, that's why we have a left hand and a right hand. We need both of the hands. It's useful. Both of them are useful, but when you got both of them together, they're more powerful. And so you think about wanting a woman and a woman wanting a man. It's more powerful when they
not wanting them, needing them, not wanting them, needing them.
We need each other. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
You know what I'm saying. The woman is going to comfort us when we need the comfort. And same thing with the man. He's going to do the same thing. And you got to look at the two people. Are they going to be for each other? And that's the big thing. If they're meant for each other, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be where he needs her and she needs him. So it's a balance thing. It's they need each other. It's no man just gonna say, I need a woman just to love me. Nah, because he gotta love the woman too. So he gotta give love so he can receive love. The same thing with the woman. The woman has to give love so she can receive love. If she's not giving it, she can't expect to receive that. And it's the same thing with the man. You can't expect to receive something if you're not giving it. So it's not about so when you look at that and you say need, it's something that we both need and require. We both require and need that. So that's my estimate on that.
All right, so DW.
Yo, all right. So I think in the beginning, a man definitely likes it that a woman would need them, because if it feels that, baser instinct of to be useful. But I think it's a slippery slope, like Chef said, that realistically, nobody should need another person, because then it creates a power unbalance where then one person has more power over the other person. You should want the other person, not necessarily need them, because as soon as you need them, it's all over. You have all the power, and then it can be abused at that point, which is rough.
Right. Now, I was thinking more in terms like a little bit deeper, right? Like, obviously a man needs a woman and a woman needs a man, right? But like, a lot of times in a relationship, how like they say men want that control factor, right? So what I mean by needs, like that woman is dependent on him. That's more of where I was going with that.
But then it's difficult with that because the moment that you have a woman who is needing the man, then they're dependent on that person, and then it creates the point of where the man can do whatever he wants, say whatever he wants, because that woman now absolutely needs him. So without him, she may fail or may have a problem. And then she gets stuck in a situation where she doesn't like, and she has no leverage. She has nothing to be able to hold against him to be like, hey, listen, I don't like the way you did this. So, you need to stop. And the man's like, well, you need me, so you do as I say. It's unbalancing.
But just look at the word need, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at the word need. Some things we don't need, but we want. Right. So when you look at the word need, do a man really need a woman to live his life? No. Do a woman really need a man to live her life? No. She can live her life accordingly to what it is that she desires. The same thing with a man. But now let's look at the relationship. We both want that.
Right.
It's something that not only do we want it, we require it so we can have children, have a family. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at the word need, a needy person is like always begging, always asking for something. So they're not giving. So when you say need, that's big. You know what I'm saying? To really look at it, I need a new car. What am I going to do to get the new car?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
And can I interject something right there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So I think it is in a man's innate nature to need a woman or want to feel needed, not need a woman, but to feel needed. I think it's in their nature. But I think, in my honest opinion, I think a lot of men want to be needed, but then when it actually happens and the woman starts to really need them and depend on them for their needs, I think that's when resentment starts to build. And once that resentment starts to build, it's hard to fix that. It starts putting cracks in your foundation.
Right. So we had a comment that says women are becoming stronger and don't need something to keep up with life. Anybody want to add to that?
It's the sad reality.
Right.
We nowadays society has put it in our heads that we don't need a man, but in all reality, and I'm speaking for me. Hey, if you independent women out there want to be independent and don't need a man, hey, don't need one. I need one. I can't change a flat. I'm not taking out my own trash. I'm not doing it. There's certain things.
Oh man,
I'm not pumping my gas. I'm just
wait. Can I say something?
Go ahead, Chef.
I'm lost. What you mean you're not taking your trash out?
Taking my trash out. I don't.
Wait a minute.
I
So you
I
think?
I
So in
have, don't
other
get me
words, you
wrong,
think
but
that's the man's job?
it is.
Uh-oh.
No. It got, I'm listen. Guess what? It is a balance thing. It's a balance thing. If I'm not there, you have to be able to take the garbage out. But if I'm there, the garbage. So you telling me the garbage will sit in the house all day until I get there? Huh?
No, I mean no.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, fix that.
9 times out of 10, the trash is probably already going to be taken out because, like certain things my man expects of me, it's just certain expectations that we expect of each other, and it's a give and take.
But you just made it seem like you're not gonna take the garbage. It's just he just
I
gonna take it out.
mean, 98% of the time, I'm not.
All right, I give you 2%. You're gonna take that garbage out.
2% I will.
Yeah, you gonna.
2% I will, but
Okay.
any more than that, no.
Because I'm just being honest and being real. Like I take the garbage out at my house, right? Me and my wife, right? But when I ain't there, she taking that garbage out. And that's how it should be. But that's it creates a safe space. It creates responsibility on both of us. It's not just my responsibility. Now, I do say this. I always say this. Now, I don't clean the bathroom. She does.
Right.
Now, if she got sick or something like that, I would because I know how to do it. My parents told me how to do that. And so I just wanted to chime in on that because I don't know. I wash the dishes. I do all that. I do everything. Like we going to laundromat tomorrow. And I'm folding. I'm going in there with her and I'm folding the clothes. Ding ding with her. You know what I'm saying?
Terrible.
So I'm all about balance. Go ahead. Let me go ahead.
So I got a couple questions. It's going to be geared to the men, right? But the women that you guys can chime in and comment on as well. So I'm gonna ask DW the question first.
Yo.
I feel like I'm about to burp. Hold on.
Oh.
The first question is this, DW. Do you find it appealing or fulfilling to have a woman that relies on you for support and companionship, or do you find it restrictive and unfulfilling?
Well, it's all in moderation. If it's 24/7, no, God no. That's annoying. But if it's only a little bit, if it's sometimes, of course, it's nice to feel needed. It's nice to feel wanted. But but if it's nonstop, then and it's always constant, no, God, who would want that?
So that's the thing. It's funny you said that because a lot of men, right? We men. So I mean, I'm not saying you or Chef, but like a lot of men, they like that control factor. They like that. They like when their ego is stroked, right? They like when a woman always constantly gotta say, "Hey, can you do this? I need you." Right? A lot of men they get off on that, or that means something to them, right? You never felt that way.
No, because if somebody keeps coming to me and 24/7, like all day long, oh, can you help me with this? Help me with that? Do this, do that. It's gonna make me start to believe that they're worthless and they can't do anything. And I'm like, I'm like, can you do anything for yourself? And then they're like, of course I can. And then, like you said, all right, yeah, some men get off on that, saying, they want the control. Okay, well, awesome for them, but I couldn't.
Okay, so Chef, I'll ask you the same question. Do you find it appealing or fulfilling to have a woman that relies on you for support and companionship, or do you find it restrictive and unfulfilling?
Well, I feel like it brings great joy to me to see my lady looking to me for support, emotional, financial. It brings me great joy just to know that she's able to depend on me in that way. So it brings me joy to see that she knows she can rely on me, depend on me, but not only that, confide in me in anything, and just be that best friend that I'm supposed to be. So it brings me joy.
So if it's constant, do you feel like that's annoying, or does it make you feel like you're on top of the mountain? Do it make you feel like you a superman? Like, you know what I'm saying? Which one is it? Is it annoying, or it make you feel like, yeah, I got this. She
Nah,
need me. I'm a king.
not to well, I'm a different individual, so I'm only gonna speak from my perspective. For me, I have a lot of things that I'm doing, so my support for her is important. And so being that I'm doing all these type of things, working, business, I don't look at it like that. When she come to me for something or she needs to talk to me about something, I'm there. I'm available. I'm always available because I'm blessed to be able to work 5 a.m. and get off at noon. So I got the whole day to do what I have that type of availability to, be right there for her or anybody that I'm supposed to. So, that's important for me.
Anything you want to add to that, Jenna?
I think as a woman, to be truthful with you, like I know for me personally, the first person I want to call when I have a problem is my man. Like that's the very first person I call. Like he's the first person I think of when I get good news or bad news, any news. He's the first person I want to call. So I think men could get annoyed with that though. It's like DW was saying, like especially if it's constant and it's all the time, resentment will build. And I say that because I've been that woman that was very needy before with somebody before, and it caused resentment.
Yanni?
Yeah.
I agree with all of them. I completely agree because I'm completely opposite with it because in my past relationships, like the men would do things, but then after a while they just stop and then expect me to do more and take care of them. So it was
Now,
for my past relationships, that's what I've been through.
So okay. So we talk about the guys you've dealt with, right? Were they capable of providing and putting out more, and just wanted you to spoon feed them, or were they just bums and they just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have a handout. I'm gonna be a leech and a mooch.
Pretty much, like they just turned into bums. Like they just didn't want
Terrible.
to do anything. So like they expect me to do everything. And then after a while, I'm just like, all right, I'm fed up with it. Like I don't want to deal with it anymore. So, and the way I was raised, I'm not gonna settle. That's not
Right.
who I am. So
Right.
at that point, like if it's just gonna if you're just gonna continue to do this, then I don't want to
Right.
be a part of this anymore.
Right.
So you gotta go.
Yeah.
Find somebody else to do this too, not me, because I'm not the one.
Get somebody else to do it.
And then for those that don't know Yanni, man, she is strong-minded. She's like in her relationship, she's like, she wears the pants in her relationship. Like she's straightforward. She be knowing what she want, and like she like, listen, it's either you will give me what I want, or you gonna do X, Y, and Z, or you got to go. So that's just how she is. She's, you know what I'm saying, she's dominant in her relationship.
Don't get it twisted. I don't wear the pants in my relationship. Like,
Hey,
the fact of the matter is that it's a partnership. So the fact of the matter is, if I'm doing things for you, then you should be doing things for me as well.
Right.
I'm not just going to put out 100% or even 90%. I'm not going to put out 90% and you only going to give me 10.
Yeah.
That's not how it works in a relationship. This is 50-50.
Right.
So if I do something for you, then
don't say that.
50-50.
Chef has a problem with 50-50.
Ain't no 50-50. It's 100. It's 100.
Okay,
No,
let me rephrase it. Okay.
It gave it all. Give you your all.
With 100. The fact of the matter is that if I'm doing for you, then I should be able to get the same thing in return. I shouldn't be doing more of it.
I got you. Now, the only reason why I say wear the pants, because you know how you are. You're more like you're like Sheba in the relationship. But I don't know how to put it.
BS. I just don't take BS.
That's what I mean. You're strong with it. Like
you're straight up.
Like
straight up.
She's aggressive with it. Like she has that voice and that demeanor that like she'll make you feel like you're the woman in the relationship. She just has that about her. Like,
don't do that.
No, listen, look, we friends. Sometimes I'm like, look, sometimes we try to take me.
The only time I get stern is when you do stupid stuff. Stop doing
stupid. Oh shit.
See?
That's it.
I got you. I believe.
The hell up. Anyway, all right, let me ask this other question, right? And I'm gonna start with Chef on this one. Do you think that traditional gender roles have instilled an expectation in men to be providers and protectors, and that the desire to be needed is a natural extension to that role?
Repeat that again, man.
It's a lot.
Right. So basically, like the traditional gender roles, right? Do you think that because of that, like you know how it used to be back in the day, with the man and woman, like the woman is the cleaners and the nurturers and take care of the household, and we the providers. Do you think those values that was instilled in us? Do you think that's the reason why a lot of men feel the need, or they want women to need them? They feel like basically like you know how we talk about like being submissive and stuff like that. Do you think that that's where that comes from?
That's hard. That's a slippery slope. The reason why is because it's the upbringing of the person. Because if I'm speaking from my perspective and how I was raised, my view is, you know, my father went out to work, hustle and bustle, came home, you know, we had food on the table, and we had dinner and we had clothes. You know what I'm saying? My dad, it was because of my dad. My mom stayed home and clean and cook sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I had the pleasure of having a stepmom as well. And when I had the stepmom, so, you know, she did the same thing, cook and clean, but she did work. You know what I'm saying? So she brought money, you know, to the table too as well. So I seen both sides of the spectrum where it's, you know, somebody said, what's the
difference between 50-50 and 100-100?
That's a math question from last episode, and I think we changed it to all.
Yeah, Larry. My brother. Sometimes he don't grasp onto the concept.
Ain't no concept.
So we trying to say like we talking about 50-50. He said change that mindset 100. He asked. I'm still trying to answer it. Go ahead, Chef. Go ahead, Chef.
I'm asking the ladies. Let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck.
Oh my God, Jenna was on it, so she. All right, go ahead.
So let me. Now Jenna wasn't on it yesterday. I mean Wednesday.
Oh yeah, you're right. She wasn't. Yeah, Jenna wasn't. All right, go ahead.
Would you rather a person give you 100% of themselves or 50% of themselves?
100%.
And
okay, but listen.
Look, that's a trend that they have
to
us.
That wasn't the question. That was Jenna.
That wasn't the problem.
That wasn't the problem. So listen. Let me try to help him out again. I got to spoon feed it so slowly.
No, you ain't got. JD, go ahead.
Hey, I know. Listen. I got to get the Gerber for him. Okay.
Go ahead.
You ready? So the thing is, you know how people talk about the household bills and the needs and the, you know, things like that, responsibilities. We was talking about 50-50, right? You know the term 50-50, what it means. And he said, no, change that mindset. It's 100-100. This is the thing. What I told him was this. I said, okay, let's say your monthly expenses is $5,000 a month. You both can't give 100-100 because guess what? If you're both paying $5,000, then somebody's pocketing another $5,000. So you know how everything in life is built off 100%. So that's why he says 50-50. That means you're both putting pulling together to make it work. You're putting you put 50, you put 50 to make 100. Everything in life is built off 100. Hold on. That's why I gave him that analogy. And that's what we talk about. He's talking about 100-100. You can't do 100-100 because that's 200. You know what I'm saying?
Now you done? All right, so listen. In the relationship, there's 100%. Total. Right?
So how can you both give 100?
They said both parties contribute equally. That is 50-50.
And
that's right.
He's the only one that can see it. No, but even Larry said both parties can contribute 50-50. Like, he the only one that can't see it. I told you, my older brother, sometimes he need to be spoon-fed slowly.
Hey, and let's see, you know what you didn't listen to. I said give 100%. I didn't say nothing about finance. Did I say that, JD, yesterday?
JD, who's JD? DW.
DW. Did I say that yesterday?
No.
Exactly. I said give 100%. I never said 100% of finance. 100%. We were talking about relationships. You want to break?
But the thing is that you. So Des was using finances as an example. It wasn't about finances. You were using effort as currency. So he made it as currency, and then at the end there was a disconnect, and then it boiled down to numbers are hard. So I wound up saying, "How about we just make it? We're going to give you our all."
Yeah.
And then you agreed.
Can I interject something right there?
Go.
Yeah.
So Chef is on to something, and hear me out when I say this.
Oh, shit.
Don't puff him up.
So
Let's put it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jen.
to address what Desmond said, actually, it's a good rule of practice. If your bills are $5,000 a month, both of you should be kicking in $5,000 a month. And here's why I say this: if your bills are $5,000 a month, it's a good financial rule of thumb. Whatever your bills are is exactly what you should be, at the bare minimum, what you should be putting in your savings account. So if your bills are $5,000 a month, then you need to make sure that you're working your ass off to make sure that you can not only waste $5,000 a month, but you can also save $5,000 a month. Whatever your bills are, you should be saving that monthly anyway. And if you're not, then you're doing something wrong.
I'm gonna show you something,
and that means you're living beyond your means.
And so what she just said, like, I didn't want to say nothing, but look. So because I make more than my wife, right?
Hold on. One second, Chef. So look, Larry said both parties contribute equally. That is 50-50, right? And then he says, who has $10,000? Like, you know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. If in today's society, right? In today's world, it's hard for one person to do it on their own, right? So now you into a partnership. It's a partnership. Y'all 50-50 to make that 100%.
All right, I'm gonna show you something.
Y'all doing your part. Go ahead. Go ahead. Show me.
Now, because listen, and I'm saying this and I'm being truthful about it. All right, because I'm the breadwinner, I don't have to say I'm the breadwinner. But let me show you something. I do take care of most of the bills, but what my wife does, it is equal. I don't see that. It's equal to what I do, what she do in the house, and what she do, the little other stuff that she do. It is equal to what I contribute. I don't look at that as equal. So she washes the clothes, she cooks dinner sometimes, and I cook dinner. But she makes sure that my clothes is washed, feed me. She go to the store, she get all the knickknacks.
He said partnership until you divorce.
And
to address the comment, actually, if both of you have good jobs, it's very easy to make $10,000 a month.
Yeah, that's easy too. But the whole thing is this: is you see how I value and I see how.
He asked, does she get an allowance?
Yes, she does. Now, how you like that? Since you want to talk, Larry, yeah, she get allowance. Guess what? You know what I do? And I ain't bragging either. I'm not bragging. I'm being honest. Since that comment was made. So, see, I appreciate and I value what she does, right? So I make sure when she says she want to get her hair done and her nails done, money is there. That's not to pay her off. You know what it is? It shows her that I appreciate the things that she do. I appreciate how she take care of the house. When I come home, she don't make it just a house. She make it a home.
He says, so she work for you?
She works. She has her own job. Let's get it.
No.
You're giving an allowance. You're giving an allowance so she works for you?
Yeah. So you know how you're a boss and you pay your employees, so you give her an allowance so she works for you. What kind of partnership is that? That's a partnership. That's a business.
Hold up. Let's not get 3-course catering. I do have that too. So she's she's part owner. She's part owner. So
it sounds like she needs you.
Nah, she don't need me.
It sounds like a partnership.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. There's no dictatorship here. There's no
Head of the household.
I know head of the household. Head of the household. Yeah, I'm the head of the household. But
go ahead. No, I was going to go back and ask VW that question I asked you before. Like, so what I was talking about, like traditions, right? Traditions of how a household used to be ran. So based off of that, do you think it's a natural extension for a man to want a woman to need him?
I guess back then it was, but none of that's valid now. Back then it would have been yes, the man is going to have that power role, the woman's going to have the more submissive role, but it wasn't exactly submissive because they were still doing things as a partnership. He did certain things, she did other things.
Now, I think back in the day, it was all about being submissive. That's what I think. Right, Jenna? Like back in the day,
supposed to be submissive. It's still supposed to be submissive.
Hold on, let me get to these comments right quick. Hold on. So we got this one comment that says, "It's nice to have someone give you something for all your work, hair, nails, clothes, etc." And then let's see, Larry, he's back at it. What did he say? Oh no, he once again he said she works for you, and then he says, "Just messing, brother. Be truthful. We running nothing." Right. Oh, I mean, nowadays we're not running nothing. Women are taking over, and it's crazy. It's time for us to take back control.
They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to run. We know what it is. They're putting the.
You can't say, hold on. You can't say about you a head of household until we don't run nothing. Head of household, run the shit.
He said we not running nothing. He said we not running nothing.
Yeah.
And the women are not supposed to, but the reason why they're doing it is because the men are not stepping up to the plate like they're supposed to. They're not being the kings that they're supposed to, because one, they probably never had somebody teach them how to be a king, teach them how to be a father, teach them how to be a brother. You know what I'm saying? So if they not being taught, of course there's gonna be lack of men being those leaders that they supposed to be, or not the leaders, being the husbands that they supposed to be. Because you gotta be humble to be a husband. I don't care who you are. That right there is a big factor. You have to be humble, because that's humble. It teaches you. It allows you to be submissive to your wife, as well as your wife being submissive to you. You can't just be like, I'm the man, you do what I tell you to do. No, I got daughters. I ain't no man gonna tell my daughters you gonna listen to me. Ain't happening.
So I just want to add this to what you just said. It's no such thing as both parties being submissive to each other. It's no such thing, because if you break down the word submissive, right, that means to give control over to. You're both not giving control over to. No. Only one person can have control.
No, sirree. No, sirree.
Go ahead, Jenna. Go ahead, Jenna. In the sense of the word submissive, to submit means to bow out, to tap out, to give control.
Give up control. Give up control.
To give up control. If you keep saying you're in control, that nobody's submissive. When you talk about somebody, one of y'all submissive, that means you give up your control to the other. It's no such thing as both being submissive. It's no such thing.
So when we show you?
Bro. Go ahead on. Let Jenna say what she's going to say first, and we'll go back to you.
Ting, hit the bell, Ting.
So I want to piggyback off that. So when both parties are submissive to each other in a situation, let's say a situation occurs, they both are submissive to each other. I hear what he's saying. The reason why I say that is because when two people are both submitting to each other in that situation, that allows for you to open the door to have a deeper conversation of what needs to happen. At that point, that's when you both can come up with a strategic plan to resolve whatever the issue is. So I think it is possible for two people to be submissive.
So
at some point, though, the submission has to turn in resolution, and then somebody has to eventually step up to the lead and take the lead. But I think in the beginning phase of any situation, it is possible for both people to be submissive.
So that's called a compromise, right? That means neither one of y'all submissive, because nobody's giving up control. So therefore, you can't use the word submissive. That's improvising. That's compromising, right? That's what that is. That's working together. Neither one of y'all is submissive.
Can I drop a little term here?
Go ahead.
A lot of people have submissive women messed up. Submissive women control more than you think. A lot of times submissive women don't even have to try to control or demand anything. A lot of times submissive women can just clearly and sophisticatedly state their point. And then once they state their point, a lot of the times their husband ends up deferring to what they originally said anyway.
Right. Hold on. Let's see real quick. Hold on. Go ahead.
You know what submissive means?
Absolutely, bro. I just told you what submissive means.
What do it mean? I want to hit. No.
I just
Because he just Googled
Bruh,
it.
Oh, you daggone Skippy. Because I
it's
know
okay.
I
I
ain't.
told him what submissive was. I already said it. See, why we go in circles? He said, I want you to tell me what, like I didn't just explain it twice.
That is incorrect. That's why.
It's not, read it. It's not incorrect.
You
So people that know terminologies don't have to run to Google.
all right, because I told you.
So read it to me. Read it to me. It's going to be a history lesson. Read it to me.
Both have
Read it to me.
All right, first of
No,
all,
no.
ready to conform to authority or will of others, meekly, obedient, and passive. You know what passive mean, right? Passive.
Keep going.
That means both of you have to be able to be submissive to each other. You cannot. It does not say control. Neither word. No word of this says control. Conform. That means agreement. You got to come to an agreement.
Now go on Google and go look up submission and read that definition.
No, see, that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the key.
Read submission.
Read it.
I'm gonna read it. Let me read it. So submission is the act or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will of authority of another person.
You both can't be superior. There's no such thing.
Listen to the look. Submissive.
There can only be one superior.
Listen.
Thank you.
Watch this. Submissive and submission are not the same words.
Yes, it is.
Now watch this. I've done a podcast on this already.
Submissive is the act.
So guess what? Now I'm gonna show you physically that they do not mean the same. In wrestling,
Well, they don't.
Exactly. In wrestling, when you're wrestling,
He said, "Do."
No, they do not mean the same thing. I'm going to.
Yes, it does. Once the origin. Okay, go ahead. Go speak.
Listen, in submission, in wrestling, when you get put in a submission hold, what happens?
You give up.
You tap out.
You lost.
Now, it's submissive. You're not going to get me in that position. I'm agreeing to what's going on. I'm conforming to what's going on. In a conversation that I don't agree with, we're going to have to be in agreement, so we won't have that argument. See, that's the difference between submission.
But in the wrestling role, when you're submission, you have no other option other than to give up.
I'm forced to give up. I'm forced.
You're forced to give it up.
And submissive, you're not. I'm willing.
Wait a minute. We're going off topic.
No, we're not. I love this. Hold on. In the beginning of all my episodes, what I say, I like to conversate. Somebody finish this for me. Educate and entertain.
Sure.
Submission and submit is the same. I'm going to educate you, big brother. Submit is the verb. Submission is the action. Therefore, they are the same. They are the same. You can't have one without the other. Just like you can't have man without woman. Yes, you can't have man without woman. You know what? Dropping gems. I drop knowledge over here. They are the same. You cannot have one without the other. You can't have breath without oxygen.
Didn't you just read submission to you? I mean,
you have to. Once the origin, bro.
Yeah, but submission and submissive. Submission is one thing. Submissive is the ability. It's the act.
But can I interject something here?
Yeah.
Jenna, go ahead.
So there's a second definition to submission: the action of presenting a proposal, application, or other document for consideration of judgment.
But that doesn't mean it has to be
if we're both
carried out.
We're both presenting something, and then we both find a common ground to agree on. I would say that's both of us showing submission.
I think that's more of a proposal.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But look, that's the key. I try to tell Mr. Black. Yes, it's slippery slope, but submissive. You got to understand that's not even an argument. Like submission, and just think about when somebody gets you in a submission hole, or it's a force. It's an act of force will to you. You got no other. You got to give it up. You got to give up. If somebody got to go. That's why when they ask you when you even in court, right? And they said, "Did anybody force you into agreeing to anything?"
I don't see the relationship, but okay,
It's a little different, but I know what you're saying.
It's force. It's a force thing. It's a force thing. And submissive, it's not a force thing. It's like, okay,
that's actually a coercion.
I'm like,
that's when they say it in court.
No, I forgot the other word for it. No,
coercion, which is the same thing as tricking somebody.
Or trick. Somebody. Well, coercion is forcing somebody with the means of threat, basically.
Yeah, basically.
But a submission with.
Hey, so in terms of sex, right? Right. That's what we're generally speaking when we talk about submissive. We talk about sex, right? Mr. Chef Dennis, right? Break down the definition of submissive sexually.
Huh? Or sub.
Yeah. Break down the definition of submissive.
You might not know.
Sexually.
Submissive whole, I mean, the position?
An intimate encounter.
Like you did before.
Huh?
You said submissive and submission is not the same, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody is a submissive, what is it? Look it up. Look it up.
It's a little different, guys. That's a little different.
Sorry, I don't use those terminology for
maybe
different example.
Yeah, you got
no. Listen, but before you guys said he said it's two different things. I'm proving a point that it's the same.
What's the same?
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. All right, never mind. We're gonna move on from that. We're gonna move on that because I don't have enough Gerber, man. Let's go to Larry's comment.
We're gonna stalemate. That's all that's gonna happen.
Look, Larry said, "Why are we not stepping up?" Or it says, "Media has put this fake thought into our head. There are a lot of great men out there. I am." What did it say?
I have no idea.
Aggressed.
Oh, I am aggressed husband.
Maybe great.
The problem, like us women, fall for that fake. What?
Narrative.
I think he's talking about believing the fairy tale.
And then he put this up here. Do we submit to the word of God?
Some people do. Not everybody. Some people do.
I do.
You say you do?
Yeah.
All right, Larry. Tell us why you put that question up there. He said both submission and submitting mean the same thing. The action of presenting a proposal for consideration or judgment.
Yeah, but the judge is ultimately
understand that submissive women. That's what they do. They present something gently, quietly, and they kind of plant the seed, and then they step back and let their
and Jen's right. Yes, exactly. Jen's right because
but again she brought up the word submissive.
Yeah, no, that's okay. But a submissive woman doesn't have to force her will into the dominant man, but the dominant man should
obeys and
she will.
Authority.
She will. Yes, that's exactly correct. I'm agreeing with you, and I'm agreeing with her. So what it is basically a submissive woman can lay the information to the dominant male. The dominant male will take it into consideration what she said, and if he decides what she said is valid information, then he will move forward with his choice. It may have been her information, but it is his choice. She needs to carry it out. But if she winds up giving the information, he says, nope, never mind. Nope, it's what I said. And then that means she still has to carry it out.
Right.
All right. So look, in the definition, that's why it says ready to conform. The word conform means it's like in an agreement, right? And then it says right behind it, it says
conform is okay, go ahead.
To the authority or will of others, meekly, obedient, or passive. See, those are words, conjunction words that's all in agreement. So it's not a forced thing. It's all in agreement. So I'm conforming to something, and so I am agreeing with it. So that's what submissive means. We both have to agree to it. Whoever brings, even if the woman brings up, the man brings up. It's an agreement.
But that's where you need a strong leader, though. That's where the man has to be a strong leader, because I'm not going to submit to a weak man. If he's strong and
no woman should,
then I'm going to plant that seed, and then I'm going to back up, and I'm going to trust that his decision is for the best.
But then who's in charge of deciding whether or not the man is weak?
was about to say that. Go ahead.
I'll
Because
watch his actions.
Oh.
I'll watch his actions.
like, so you're saying that you would choose which would ultimately make you the dominant. Because if he really was the dominant, you wouldn't have the ability to choose whether or not he was weak or not.
Well, to be
Absolutely
truthful
not.
with you, if a man is weak, we don't even make it that far.
So then you're the dominant in that situation. Then
I vet men before I even put a title on it.
I mean that's good. Everyone should vet everybody. Absolutely. So does
So he's the submissive and you're the dominant one. You're the alpha.
Don't say that.
whether
Don't say that.
Tell me, what she's saying, she's like, man, she's not going to submit to a weak man. So this is the thing I'm going to add to that. I love how she said, I'm not going to submit to a weak man. The more a woman have that thought process, she feels like she's in control. And the more control you give a woman, she's going to have higher expectations for that man. So therefore, it's always going to be an uphill battle for that man. So you always going to look at that man as weak. Because he's not going to, you're going to keep raising the bar for your expectations. But he's always going to be trying to doggy paddle his way up there.
I don't want control. So if he's strong, then he can have it. I don't want it.
So he could be strong in his own right. What if he feel like he's strong, but to you say, nah, he weak.
I
She
mean,
said they don't make it that far.
they don't. Yeah, they won't even make it that far.
so ultimately you made the choice.
Before we even put a title on it, I go out with them a few times. We hang out, we become friends. I get to know them. If I feel like their leadership style, and I watch how they lead their family, their friends, how they handle situations, how they handle their anger, how they treat people that can do nothing for them. Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Do they have a good relationship with their mother? Those sort of things. And if a man shows me that he has strong qualities, and what I mean by strong qualities is he able to lead a household? Is he able to raise a child and give that child the best that he can? You know, is he going to instill good qualities in that child? Is he strong-minded? How does he react to stress? All of those things. And if he's a strong man, then I definitely want him to lead, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 43 years old. I have never been married. You know why? I have not been able to take a look at myself until this last year and realize that I was the problem. And believe it or not, people can change. A weak man can at some point become a strong man.
But you say you want to give him the chance.
So there's
You
two.
don't see the problem with that?
There's two things that I want to respond to that on. So
Hold on. One second. Let her answer that though. So you don't see what the problem with that is, Jenna?
I'm going on that.
The reason why I say that is because I did at one point, when I didn't know my self-worth, I did at one point give a man that was weak a chance, and it costed me 15 years of misery. And then I finally learned my worth, and I took a step back for a little while, and I took time to myself, and I worked on myself, and went and got myself in therapy, which I'm still in. And I had to learn to love myself before I could reconvene back and let him work on himself, because he had to work on his own self. But now that we're both in a better place, we've decided to give it another try, and I've been happy.
Gotcha. Go ahead, DW.
So I'm going to have two comments to it, and they're most likely going to contradict each other. The first one is going to be, so you go into a dating relationship or dating anything already being the dominant person, because you are going to make the decision whether or not this person is going to get the next step. So you're already starting in the dominant position. The man isn't, obviously. The contradiction to that is, I understand what you're saying on that, is that you have to vet them, and they have to earn your submission.
Right.
So the other hard part with that is women, I hear a bunch of times, oh, I'll submit to my king. I'll submit to him, absolutely. But the problem with that is that, are you capable of actually submitting, truly submitting? Because once your king or once your man makes a decision that you don't like, well, you're going to contest it. So therefore, you just now no longer submitting anymore. So that's the hard part.
Talk that shit. That's a good question.
So they'll submit as long as the woman wants to submit.
be truthful with you in that it takes a lot of work to go from a dominant female to a submissive female. And when I tell you it takes a lot of inner work, holy moly. I have done so much shadow work this past year. And I have hit a point in my life to where I don't want control. I want to be submissive to my man. And now that he's earned that and he's shown me that he's capable of leading, providing, protecting, being spiritually there for me, emotionally there for me, I feel safe enough to hand it over. And I have done that. And to be truthful with you, it is a struggle. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. It is a struggle. There's times when he makes decisions that I absolutely don't like. But at the end of the day, I have to support him because that's my man and soon to be hopeful husband someday.
Nice.
But I'm not gonna lie, it is very hard sometimes.
Of course, it's absolutely hard because you're like, all right, well, I gotta protect myself and I gotta do this and everything. I'm gonna trust this man to make a decision, and then you see it, you're like, that's a bad choice, but I'm just gonna let this roll, see how it goes.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We have had some bad choices recently, and they were small, of course, and fixable. And if they're fixable, then he's gonna, I'm gonna let him make the mistake. But I'm not gonna lie, if I ever see him showing weak qualities again, I'm pulling all the way back.
So then you then take the dominant role.
If I have to, I will. I'm not
so the submissive role is only temporary as long as you want it.
No, it's not as long as I want it. It's as long as he can show me that he's capable of leading, which he has done that. If my man is capable of leading, I'm capable of committing.
It's crazy.
But that's your choice.
No, it's just a man has to show that he's capable for any woman. I hope all women feel this way. You should.
Yeah.
Hey, Chef, do you want a dominant woman? You want to be in a relationship with a dominant woman?
What?
Do you want to be in a relationship with a dominant woman?
Look at my face.
No, I know.
Oh God, don't make me.
No, I'm getting, because Jenna keep talking about how she's dominant. She all this. That's why I'm asking. The men don't like that shit. So when you say you try to hold on, when you say it took you the past year to get to know you or understand you and the flaws and the problems and the issues, you said you had to look yourself in the mirror and say you was the problem. That's part of the problem because men don't. A DW. Yeah. You want a dominant woman? You want to be in a relationship with a dominant woman?
No, because I equate that to being like a man, and I don't want to be with a man.
Exactly, Jenna. So that's one thing that women do all the time. They want to be dominant. Men don't want that. That's unattractive.
They want to be boss babes. They want to be boss babes. I'm in control.
So that's something that I think all women got to take in consideration. You got to control, alt, delete that out the equation because trying to be dominant to a man, nah. Nah, and we're gonna touch on the infidelity thing, but when a woman want to talk about being dominant, that's the fastest way to get cheated on.
And that's exactly why I say that right there is why I'm 43 and never been married. I had to really open my eyes and see that. No guy wants a woman that is gone all the time, works all these crazy hours.
I didn't say nothing about working. I'm talking about dominant as far as voicing your opinion and things don't go your way. Now you want to put your foot down? Nah.
So
let me ask you. To be truthful with you, I was in that masculine energy at that time. And so that's what I did. I made all the decisions, but it got old fast.
Right.
No one wants to be in that role. I don't care.
It gets old for men sometimes too, though.
No woman wants to be in that role. No woman wakes up and just says, "I want to run everything and be the masculine and."
Nowadays, yes, they do.
Yes, they do. They're boss babe.
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question, Jenna.
Boss bitches.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you a question. So, I hear you saying you the dominant woman, right? But
she said she didn't want to be dominant.
But that's the way you painted the picture that you dominant.
That's what I was saying.
Right. It's not that I'm dominant at all because I'm not. It's just in the past I had to be because he showed weak.
All right. What I want to show you, I want to say something.
Break it down.
This is like not to like attack you or anything.
Right.
Before you even get that far. Right, you should know the type of man that you want. It's not about his appearance; it's about his heart, his integrity. How he carries himself. So before you even get to that moment of thinking that he's the ideal man, there are characteristics that should outstand in him that you'll know. You won't even have to be that way. And so that characteristics of a good leader, a good man, a good father, you have to know what that looks like. And so you having this idea of you're the dominant one, so that's your view. But you know what a good man looks like and what he's supposed to look, and have you even seen it, the qualities of a good man? I'm not even a good man, a father, a brother, or somebody. Have you ever seen that?
And that's why I say I've done a lot of shadow work this past year, because we're talking present tense. This is past tense for me. I used to be very dominant. That was when I didn't know my self-worth. I never seen an example of a submissive woman or a woman in her feminine energy. I never saw that. I never saw a man that loved a woman properly. This is all stuff that I've had to learn in the past year or two. And so now that I've done the shadow work and I'm in the counseling, I've learned to let go and not try to have to control everything. Because my issue for me was, my biggest flaw was that I used to be very controlling as far as my life goes. Not my man, not like where you at, where you been, nothing like that. I'm more of controlling, like, of the house, the bills, like I want to see everything, I want to know what's going on, that sort of controlling. But I'm no longer like that. I had to let all that go and work through my past trauma in order to get to a point where I'm at now, to be able to be submissive and trust that I can.
I go to this comment real quick. So Larry said, in today's world, both parties make it hard to compromise because of the fear factor, the fear of getting hurt. He said some of us cannot stand rejection. I think black women unknowingly has become a tool for the system, a system that strives on creating a negative aura about us. And then he also asked this question. He said, ask the sister, is she a reflection of her mother? When you said that, you talk about Jenna? Ask Jenna, is she a reflection of her mother? I think that's what he was asking, Jenna.
To be honest with you, that's where I got a lot of that from. I mean, my mother was a single mother. When you're raised in a single mother home, the mother tends to be the masculine and the feminine. And so that was learned behavior. I learned
Hmm.
that behavior, and so growing up my whole life, that's what I knew. And so that's what I thought was normal for me.
Well, I commend you on that. And the reason why I say I commend you on that is because I tell most people is that the first thing of healing and accepting is knowing yourself and seeing your flaws and acknowledging them, and then you'll be able to grow and heal from those things. And that's the key to a successful relationship and turn into a marriage or anything. It's the success. It's very successful when you acknowledge it, and then once you acknowledge it, now you know what you need the help in. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm commending you on that, because that's good.
Thank
When
you.
you noticed it and you recognized it, and I guarantee you it's going to work in your favor once you notice that.
I think so. It's done a lot. Like, I've really grown and changed in the last year, like, so much. And I'm loving the woman that I've become and becoming. I still got a lot of work to do.
Always be intentional.
So Jenna, I'm gonna ask you a question, then I'm gonna ask you, Yanni. So the question is, feeling needed can provide men with a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Do you think that men feel inadequate when a woman doesn't need him?
Yeah.
Jenna,
Did you hear
you
me?
first.
Jenna?
Jenna, you first.
Oh, I thought you were asking Ayanna. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Right. So I said, feeling needed can provide men with a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Do you think that men feel inadequate when a woman doesn't need him?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
So I know back a year or two ago, whenever I was dominant and whenever I was more masculine and kind of took over, kind of ran everything, I'll just say that. It did make my man feel inadequate. It did make him feel a little insecure and unwanted and unneeded. And to be truthful with you, I do think that's what caused a lot of problems in our relationship is that, and of course, like I said, he had his own issues too. I'm not going to sit up here and blame myself. Like, we both had our own issues, but I do think that, yes, I do think that that created inadequacy, which also created resentment.
Yanni, you think a man feels inadequate when a woman doesn't need him?
Absolutely, because it's just like he's just thinking to himself, like, what am I here for if I can't be that person to be there for you? Like,
Mm.
why, what am I doing here? Like, this is just a waste of his time because you don't want, you feel like you don't need him. Like with some people, not judging them at all. Some people, the way they grew up, some women and everything, they feel like they don't need a man. They can do everything on their own because
Hmm.
that's how they were raised. That's how they were taken care of. Me, on the other hand, not true. I'm gonna need
So
that. I'm gonna
you
need that
go
because
ahead. I'm sorry.
I was raised by a single mother. I was raised by a single mother with a brother and a sister. But on top of that, too, I had men in my life. My uncles were always there for me. And they showed me how a man is supposed to treat a woman and how
Hmm.
they're supposed to respect them. So
Hmm.
the thing is that I'm not going to be in a relationship and saying, like, oh, I'm in a relationship, but I don't need you. It's not true. I do need you. I need that support. I need you to be there for me when I'm down.
Right. Okay. So the women that go around saying I don't need a man, right? You see that as being a problem,
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a problem. Absolutely.
right? And then, we got the comments as a man needs an ego, right? So, and I'm going to agree with that. I mean, I got one of the biggest egos in this world, and you know me, so so
Yeah,
I definitely need that. Once
yeah,
you take away my ego, it just
yeah.
it demasculate me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to feel like I'm on top. That's just me.
Plus,
Um,
I like to make my man feel good. Like I like to
mm,
make him feel like he's the one that I need,
right,
and not like make him feel like shit because some women do that. Like 1 minute they want that but then they want to be petty, be like, I don't need you, I don't need you. You can go.
right,
Bye. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of stress for no reason. That's a
absolutely. Now, Danny, you ever been with a woman that she was so dependent, um, or no, so independent? I'm sorry, so independent that it didn't appear that she needed you. Did that make you feel less of a man? I don't know if you've ever been in that situation before, but
I haven't.
okay.
The,
So,
the
so, so
usually
if you was in a
usually
relationship,
usually all my relationships have been women who needed me or wanted, you know, everything from me.
okay. So if you was in a relationship and that woman didn't appear to need you for either nothing or she barely needed you, would that bother you? Would that affect your ego? Would that make you feel demasculated?
No, no,
No, it would.
no,
Okay,
no, because then means that she just wants you around. So you're the chosen one to stay around. So
now I
she
said, go ahead.
so she's choosing to want to have you around, not need you around.
Well, you know how we always say a woman wants security, they want to feel love, right? I think a lot of times people forget that men are human too. Men want love just as much as women, right? So that sense of need, right, to make it strokes our ego, right? And I think most men, whether they want to admit it or not, I think they want a woman to need them.
Yeah, there are a lot of men who want that need, who basically want a big, they feel like a big strong man. I'm gonna come
Right.
here and I'm gonna rescue this little lady. Yeah, no, that's I don't
Make
need that
that's make
myself.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So
need that.
so Chef, let's say question, man. I said, if your wife didn't need you at all, and then she didn't make you feel that you was needed, would that make you feel less of a man? Would that mess with you mentally?
No, because I'm gonna tell her how I feel. I'm be like, yo, you don't give me no compliments. You don't say nothing. What's going on?
So so
I
you want her for her to need you then?
no,
That's
not
what you're
need.
saying.
If I look nice, I want her to give me a compliment. I would love for her to give me a compliment, but you said, will it mess with me? It's not gonna mess with me because my confidence is high. I don't really care about what people think or say about me. 'Cause I
So
have,
if your confidence was that high, you wouldn't
yeah,
go to her. You said you would have that conversation and let her know that,
I'm gonna say it
hey,
again.
why they don't do this?
Let me say it slow. I said I would like it. I would like for my wife to give me compliments. She does, but I'm we having a discussion, and I'm saying
Right.
yes, I would like for my wife to give me compliments and big me up for some accomplishment I have accomplished. So if I did
Right.
something at work or I did something for somebody else, I was out there doing some evangelist work, and she's like, "Hey, babe, I like how you did that. That was nice. How you brought that message to somebody." I'm like, "Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. That makes me feel good. It's a confidence. It's a
Right.
confidence
But
thing."
But how is that
again,
need?
again, yeah, it doesn't. But hold on one
I
second.
you said need. I don't need.
But I know that's what the question was though. So that's why he asked you that. But this is the thing. You said you a conversation will be had. You would tell her that, hey, why don't
Right.
you this? Why don't? But
Yeah.
guess what? Confidence don't need validation. So if you was really that confident about yourself, like you just said you was, you don't need validation.
You
So
didn't hear.
therefore, a conversation is null and void. You don't need to have that conversation if you're that confident.
Now, I know y'all heard me. I said I would like if she
But
did.
before
Yeah,
that, you said
I would
a
tell her.
conversation will be had. Exactly.
Yes.
But if you're that confident, you don't need to, because confidence don't need validation.
No, it's not about validation, D. It's about these are things that we all want to hear. If you do something great, you want someone to tell you, "Oh, that was nice. Oh man, that was great. I appreciate that." You right? That it's like showing appreciation. So we all
Right.
want to be shown appreciation. But if it's not there, it's not like I'm gonna be sad, like, "Oh my goodness, they ain't saying." Nah, I'm like, all right, well, somebody else will say it. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I require from my wife. So if she not doing it, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, why you don't never say X, Y, Z? What's up? What's going on?" See what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to say that. So, but if you look at it from a relationship perspective, it's something different. But you ask me about my wife. My wife gonna be able to tell me like, "Hey, you look nice today, babe." And I always say I'm transparent. Sometimes she don't say that. I be like, "Babe, what's going on? You don't never say I look sexy or nothing. What's up?" I get this quiet. I say, "Yeah, y'all see. I be telling you look nice in them jeans. You better start saying you look nice. You look handsome, baby. I'm for real."
I don't know how we got into that when I was talking about the old need thing, but
Yeah.
Larry said our biggest snag is the single mother thing. He says, we've been hearing this since the ships rolled in. Single mothers are capable. It has been proven. Uh, and then what he say? He says, when you are in a marriage or a relationship, there comes a time where we question our relationships. It's part of the makeup. Does everybody agree with that? It comes a
Yeah.
point in time in your marriage and relationship where you start to question everything.
A
Yeah.
little, yeah.
Or you gonna say, or if you're gonna say the most perfect thing, like you perfect, and say, I don't never question anything. Which, like, you agree,
I
or you
think
gonna give me a
doesn't
BS?
that come up like right before marriage? Is the questioning?
No. When you in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, those questions you start, man, I don't know. Did I marry the right person? Yeah, you gonna ask that question. But then you stuck. Like you stuck. Stuck like Chuck. When you married, you stuck like Chuck.
It ain't stuck. Nobody's ever stuck. Marriage ain't shackles, brother. You
Nah.
so you go back. We ain't gonna touch on that, but so
You better.
you
You
say
right. Don't touch
about
on that.
marriage is a business. It's not a partnership. Marriage
Hey,
is
you don't want to go there. You don't want to go
marriage
there.
is the modern day slavery.
No, you don't want to go there.
He just said once you get married, you're stuck. That means you ball and chain, you shackled.
That's a mentality. That's your mentality. I don't see it that way.
You just said that. You said you stuck.
You stuck. I ain't say nothing about
The,
ball and chain.
the slaves were stuck. You know what I'm saying? But anyways,
You got it's called work. When you want something, when you want
you're
greatness,
not stuck.
you gotta
You're
work
not.
it. Nah, you gotta work it.
Marriage ain't gonna make me stuck.
And these are different. You don't want to, yeah, to live.
Uh
You need to live. You need it to live.
Wait. Hey, Larry, you talking about me or Chef? He said don't. All caps. He said don't go there, brother.
He talking about you. He ain't talking to me. I know he ain't talking to me. Yeah.
Yeah, he married. I
No,
think he
he
might be
was talking to
about
me.
And to respond to his comment though, I think there's some truth to what he's saying about the single mother thing.
Oh,
I
you want to hit
think
that? You
I
want to go
think
there?
mm,
I got something for you too. Come on, let's
there's
go.
truth to that, and I'm saying that I was a single mom. I've been a single mom. I was a single mom for years. And, my mom was a single mom. So I do think there's truth to what he's saying. Do I think that women are capable? Yes. But do I think that that single mothers and this whole epidemic of single mothers dating back from I'm sure before the 90s, but it really started just becoming a
About the
thing.
90s.
And everybody just divorced and nobody gets married anymore, to be truthful with you. I do think that single moms, this whole epidemic of single moms, I do believe that created a societal problem.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you too. Is that now the mothers that are raising the children now, and because one, if they're hurt, right? Let's say the man hurt them, destroyed it mentally, physically, right? What they do is because they hurt, they bring that. I want to say the hurt that they have inside, they pour it on the children. They don't teach them how to say, you know what? No matter what your dad did to me, I want you to still respect your father. I want you to still love him. They don't teach that. And so when the kids are growing up now, that's part of the problem too, is that the mothers that been destroyed or abused, like I said, physically, mentally, right? That hurt and that pain, they pour it on their children as well, because guess what? They don't talk good things about the fathers, even if the father's not good, because they hurt, because they mad. Guess what? They're not even trying to hear and see the father, or sometimes allowing the father to see the children, because they're bitter, they're mad. And so that creates an atmosphere of resentment, animosity, hate. And so we wonder why sometimes our kids are growing up like that, because the home is broken. And because the home is broken, these kids that's growing up, they don't have a father. If they don't have a father, they don't have a male figure that's appropriate for them. So they got somebody else, because the mother get into a relationship, and that man that she's getting in a relationship, she likes him, but he's not worthy of being a father to those kids. He's not worthy of being a leader to those children. And so that is also a problem of what's going on in our communities, outside of our communities too, with broken relationships. It's not me knocking down the women that's doing it. Is these are the problems that we don't look at, and we look over those, and that creates some of the monsters too, the young men monsters. Seriously,
it's not talked about enough. And then you also have to think single mothers that are raising young men. These young men, because again, it's in a man's nature to want to provide or protect, right? So if you're raising a young man, naturally as a single mom, the young man, 9 times out of 10, they're going to want to try to step up in some way. And so then you put these young men in these roles of being a man of the house at a young age, which sets them up for failure. Because then they think they have to go straight to work and not go to college. Then they have to sit up there and get a job at an early age, which creates lower grade average, lower GPAs. They miss out on kid activity clubs, which puts them out in the streets more. You see where I'm going with that? It's a never-ending cycle.
That's what it is.
I have direct knowledge about this, because this exact situation happened to me and my son and my son's mother. But I handled it very different. I made sure I never shit talked about her. I would defend her, even though it ended very poorly. I would defend her no matter what. If he had something to say, I'd be like, "Don't you talk about your mom like that?" He goes, "But you guys have separated." I was like, "I don't care. I don't care what happened to us, but you don't talk to her like that." Right. And then he unfortunately wound up getting forced into being the man of the household. There are other children by other men, but and I always had to remind her that he is not a substitute man of the house. He is a child. And then, she constantly struggled with that. He's now 18. And I made sure that I was constantly his life. I would call him, talk to him. The other children, their fathers weren't really around. I made sure that they were loved regardless. They're not my children. It's not their fault. Their fathers just weren't man enough. So I stuck around regardless. And she's not with me. She's with other people and whatnot, but they needed a solid man in their life. And I was fine doing that. I was fine being that guy. My son wound up growing up. Thank God. Thank every God that he turned out to be pretty damn good. He helps with disabled kids. He wants to work. He wants to pay for things on his own. He wants to live his life. He wants to do everything. He's into art and all that stuff. I couldn't have asked for a better kid. But most of the time I see it, you're right, that the animosity, the hatred gets poured into the child. The child winds up seeing things differently, and then they grow up and they form their opinion about the opposite sex or anything like that. And then they act it out. And then now it becomes a problem later. It's bad cycle.
Yeah, that's what it is. Bad cycle.
My bad, guys. I had to use the bathroom, but I'm back now. So let me ask a question to Jenna, and I'm gonna pass it over to Yanni, and then you guys comment if you want. So some men may subconsciously seek validation through attention and reliance of a woman. Do you think that men cast women aside if they don't feel like they need them?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. So was that you at one point? Well, did it happen to you, or are you just speaking in general?
Nope, it happened to me when I was with my kid's father. He had to feel needed. He was the breadwinner. The one situation where I just completely submitted, completely 100%. He did not want me to work. He wanted me to stay home, go to school, take care of the house, do all that. I wanted to work. I wanted my own money. I didn't want to keep asking him for money all the time. I'm not a child. And then you got to think I was still in that mentality. So I wanted to do for myself. So I wanted to prove to him that I could go to school full time, raise a newborn, a 5-year-old, and work part time. And I did that. And unfortunately, it came to a point where he gave me an ultimatum: either quit working and stay home and raise these kids and focus on getting through school faster, or he's going to leave me.
It's a tough ultimatum.
And we're no longer together.
And so what you chose? You chose not to be with this man?
Nope. I left him. Stupid decision.
You said stupid decision?
Oh.
I put my career first. He wanted me to put the household first and schooling first. And I put my career first because my career was starting to get catapulted a little bit.
So see, that's tough to me.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you did that wrong. Not at all. I'm not gonna hold you on that. I don't agree that you did that wrong because now this type of generation that we living in now, a woman wants to work. She don't want to stay home. She wants to help provide. So my thing is that if that's what you want to do, go for it. A man should not have you make an ultimatum of whether you either stay home and stay with the kids or you can't be with me. Like that's not a cool choice
at all. I didn't feel like it was at the time, and I chose my career. I still finished school. It just took me longer, and I ended up working my way up all the way to the top, to where recently, like last year, I finally quit because it's like I reached the top. There was nowhere else for me to go other than that. I mean, I can go, I guess back down or whatever, but
yeah, no, I feel like if a woman wants to pursue something, go for it.
But to be truthful with you, Ayanna, I missed out on so much. I ended up becoming a single mother because of it. And I ended up having to work all the time, which I missed all the school functions. I missed all the games. I missed everything because I was so busy. Well, I want to be a career. I want to get to the top. I want to be a president and CEO. And all of that meant so much to me, but I missed out on so much. And I'm 43 now. And you know what? I made all that goddamn money and I have nobody to spend it with.
But let me ask you this. Listen, I mean, because I agree with Ayanna, I don't think that you made a bad decision because
I do.
So those are called dreams and aspirations, right? Like, so everything in life should be about progression or advancement, right? So that's what you was trying to do. You try to further your career. You try to live out your dreams. You try to progress. You try to advance. For a man to sit there and take that away from you, that's hindering your lifestyle. So would you prefer? What you telling me is you prefer to deal with a control freak that want to control you and hold you under his thumb? If somebody holding you down, you would never prosper.
Well,
so why would you want that?
The reason why is we were both he was working on a third master's degree, and I was also trying to go to school. So we were both in school, And so basically it came down to one of us had to quit. We had a newborn, a 5-year-old, like one of us had to quit. And so he basically said, either you quit, you know, because you can't do it all. And I kept, yes, I can. Yes, I can. And so it came down to, you know, both of us can't go to school and advance our careers, you know? And so he told me to make a choice, and I made a choice. And I still,
So he gave you the ultimatum of either I'm the man or you're the man, and you chose you to be the man.
Yeah.
And there was.
I definitely wanted. Look. I
But
wanted.
on top of that, she did say in her past she had trouble.
Right. So
Okay.
One second, Chef. And this the guy that you had kids with, right?
yes, I have 2 kids.
So not only did he dismiss you by giving you that ultimatum, he dismissed the kids, because if you're trying to progress, right, you're trying to advance in life, and you're trying to when we talk about 50-50, or as Chef like to say 100-100, how can you do that, right? You should be there for the benefit of that child as well. So giving you that ultimatum is giving that child a disservice, is it not?
You can say that, definitely. I will say I'm not going to take away the fact, though, that he has been a wonderful father, a wonderful provider, even though we're not together. So I'll never take that from him. But I will say it did. I mean, obviously, if you're not in the same home, you are taking away from the child in that sense. So, yes, I do agree with. I do think there's truth to what you said. But I also say, in his defense, he did do what he could being away. If there's any if there was any other thing else he could have done, or anything more he could have done, he would have done it.
But he could have did more about being in that household. So it's one thing about doing what you can when you're away from a distance, and it's another thing to do what you can in that household.
Yeah, but
you can't have 2 bosses.
He was going for his master's, but you was going to school too. Like, he could have helped out, be like, okay, I'll go to school, do what I got to do, and then I'll come home, help take care of the kids, so you can go to school and do what you got to do. So it like should have helped out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when y'all was together, instead of just completely giving you 100% ultimatum, it's like it's either you quit or I'm leaving you.
I agree, because it was he didn't want me to quit school, but he did want me to quit working, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to keep depending on you for money. I'm not.
Understand.
And so I chose. Well, not only that, to be truthful with you, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the raw truth. I had it in my head as a child that I was going to make it to the top, no matter what field I was in. If I was flipping burgers, I was going to be the boss. Damn it. And so I had that in my mind. So when he gave me that ultimatum, I'm like, who the hell are you to stop me from pursuing my dream?
There you go. That's what happened. So because you made that decision,
I chose me.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. I would do the same thing. I don't have kids. I'm only 34. I'm the youngest one here.
But I will say, be honest with you, I missed out on a lot because of that.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. Like it's gonna suck. It's definitely gonna suck. You are gonna miss out on a lot of things because you're trying to provide for your kids.
I was never home. I mean, especially once you get to the top, you're gone a lot. You got to travel. You're always on flight. You're everywhere. And so I missed out on a lot. Nannies raised my kids. They're grandma and nannies.
So you were fed the belief that in order for your worth to be worth something, you had to be to the top tier. And really, there's multiple worths. You could have also chosen to stay home and raise the children and all that. And I'm not trying to be misogynistic or anything like that, but you could have done that, and that could have been your worth. But unfortunately, society has told you that you ain't worth nothing unless you are a boss bitch and you're making X amount of money and you got the Benz and all that stuff. But that's a lie. If you wind up missing out on the fulfillment of your soul, raising the children and preparing the next generation, it's slippery.
And now I wake up and my daughter just finished school the other day. She graduates next week, and I missed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
she graduated from what?
She's graduating from high school, and she actually already enrolled in college. She enrolled in college and everything. I didn't even know. Like that's how. And see, here you go. The cycle repeats itself.
Yeah.
She's so independent. She enrolled herself.
That's one thing with parents nowadays. They don't understand the presence of a parent is important, especially when they're graduating, when they anything they're doing to educate themselves or any activities. It's always great to be there. It's your duty. It's your part of your job to be present when they're doing something in school. And it's so important. I'm telling you, it's important because they need that support. You are their support, and so without you, they have nothing. They have nobody. You know what I'm saying? And
They
I
reach
do
out
wanna-
to other people for
that's
that
it.
support,
And yep,
and
they
it's
go
usually not the best people.
exactly.
Right.
And see but see, that's where the cycle of being the independent woman, you see where I'm going with that? It trickled from
Right.
me to her. So now I have to unlearn that behavior and I have to reteach her at the age of 18. You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's going to be
Now,
hard. I did so much.
Larry,
I got to undo it.
you put selfish and self-centered. Are you saying Jenna was selfish and self-centered, or the
I
man?
was.
She said she was.
If
She's
there was-
admitting it.
No,
She-
I know. I was just responding to his comment. That's all.
Yeah,
But
she
you got to
said
read
it.
you got to read his last comment.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I was yeah. I was gonna say, Danny, just go ahead and take that from me.
me history.
Go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead and read that. Go ahead.
History lesson. This is why young men and women are not as disciplined today. The 80 crack epidemic created this community where we're a part of today. Do the math. If you had kids in the 80s, they had to grow up and become the lead of the household. That had to raise themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Got you.
yeah. But Jen, listen. You growing, Jen. When you
are.
acknowledge that, then you say, you know what, I made that mistake. That wasn't a while. Because staying home, like when I had my first daughter, I was going to culinary school and working. And working full-time jobs. So the moms at that particular time, we were getting ready to get married, and she stayed home for 2 years. She was working, but she had to stay home because she wanted to stay home with our daughter at that particular time. I'd never wanted a woman that didn't work. I wanted an independent woman. I wanted a woman that's going to work. If she made the same amount of money as me, that's cool. If she made more than me, that's cool. But I really wasn't going to date a woman that made more than me. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not recommending. I'm not recommending any man to do that. You don't listen. You don't want a woman to make more money than you because it will alter your relationship.
They see themselves as the man.
No,
and they're in charge.
Not even that, but you want. Listen, it's not even about being a male chauvinist or being the leader, but it's your place to be the sole provider. So you have to be in the place so you can provide.
We don't live in those times no more, brother.
No, you bugging. You're bugging. And you gotta do the work. You have to do the work. You got to do the work. I'm a living example. I did the work. I worked full-time job, went to school full-time. When I tell you I had to run, I had to run to the train every day early in the morning at noon. I had to run to the train to get to work at 3:00. And it was like almost 2 hour drive on the train. So I had to hustle and bustle, but I did it to benefit me and mine for the future. So I had to do. You got to do what you got to do, and that's part of being successful. You got to work at it. You can't think you're not going to be successful if you don't work at your craft. I worked at my craft.
Well, that's not what you said. What you said was, we supposed to be the sole provider. We got to be make the more money. We don't live in those times anymore because in those times where that existed. Hold on, in those times, that's when the woman was the nurturer, is the one that stayed home, that didn't do shit, didn't work, didn't do shit. We don't live in those times anymore.
We do.
They did stuff. They didn't do nothing. They did a lot.
I'm talking about work. You know what I mean?
Right, they didn't have a job of.
In those times where they said that's what a man's supposed to do, that's when we lived in a time where a woman was looked at to do this, a man was looked at. It's not like that no more at all.
It is.
It's not. So, and you see, you better have to get you gonna give all these women out here some fucked up thought process. They're gonna be like, oh well, if you make this, I ain't fucking with you. It's crazy because the moment that you fall in bad times and you can no longer do that, and that woman making more, is she supposed to look at you as a joke?
All right, so let me bring it to you so you can understand it better. And I'm glad I got this.
It's not about understanding. Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult my intelligence.
Yo, relax.
Restating it.
Yeah. Yo,
restating it in a different way.
So look, this is exactly what I'll give you an example. I like to do analogies and examples. And look, a basketball player, right? He's not going. He's not looking to date a regular woman. The reason, do they do that? Yes, they do. But he really is not looking for a regular woman because guess what? He's making all this money, and if it's a regular person, and guess what? Now his money is vulnerable. His accolades is vulnerable. But now when you have somebody that's on the same level, it's different. Listen. They're making their own money. They're making good money. So now you don't have somebody saying, you know what? I'm going to Cali this week, and you can't make those moves because you don't have the money. You don't have the finance to move like that. And so that's what I mean by saying you want to be able to do whatever you want with that individual, that woman. You know what I'm saying? So like me, I'm just gonna talk for me. I'm not gonna date somebody that's on TV, that's a celebrity. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a chef. I got my own business, but I'm not big time yet. If I was big time, it's different. I want somebody that's on my level. I don't want somebody that's working at McDonald's. She could be a chef at McDonald's. I mean, not even a chef. She could be a CEO. Listen, our lifestyle is different. You understand what I'm saying? The money is different. It's different. It's going to be different. So guess what? Our lifestyle is going to be different. Our mindset is different. So you want to be on the same plane. That's why I said you want to be able to listen. My money is going to always grow, and her money is going to grow. So guess what? If she's not, let's say she making 75,000, right? And then in 2 years she making 125,000. Okay, now we're talking because now she's starting to elevate. If she's starting to elevate and progress, then that's something different. But if she's still down there, not progressing and not adding value to her life, then guess what?
Just getting comfortable.
Yeah, that's it. And the same thing with a man. If you got a woman that's making all this money, you not progressing, you not adding value to yourself. Nah, come on. Let's be real.
Hold on. What he say? He said, if you fell in love with an engineer and she made more money than you, why would you marry her?
No, he said, then would you marry her?
Would you marry her?
Then would you marry her? I'm sorry.
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said if you fell in love with an engineer and she made more money than you, would you marry her?
It depends on our schedule, and I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not even going.
You just said you wouldn't mess with a woman that made more money than you.
It depends on our schedule.
Now you said it
I
depends.
make good money. No, I make good money. I'm not gonna disclose how much money I make.
But no, we didn't ask that. He said if you fell in love with an engineer that made more money, then would you marry her? He's trying to prove a point here. And then you just said it depends, but before you said you would not fuck with her, you wouldn't talk to her. Which one is it?
I'm gonna say this like this, so it's gonna be nice and crystal clear. I am not going to get with a woman that makes more money than me. I'm not doing that.
So the answer is no.
Yeah, there you go.
So but you just said it depends. But you then you flipped it and said it depends.
I said this early before I said my statement. I said I am not recommending a man to get with a woman.
Most of them mess with young white girls or hookers. Bro, you are delusional.
What?
He's talking about the basketball players analogy.
Oh.
Remember whenever he was talking about that?
Yeah. They definitely. So the basketball people definitely go for regular women because
that's not true. That's not true.
Okay,
that's not true.
They do all the time. Hey, hold on, time out. What Shannon Sharp get in trouble with? He made how much money? Why he mess with that girl? She's a regular girl.
Oh, hold on. Now, let's see. We going off.
No, I don't know. Most women want hypergamy. They want hypergamy. They want to date a upper. They want a man who's going to be higher than them.
Hey D, you got to know. You got to look. You got to understand something. How? Hey D Dub. In basketball, and now we're gonna go back to the top. In basketball, the women that have access. How do they have access to those basketball players? There's a reason why they have access to them.
Because
Come
the
on,
men are
No.
horny, and they find them in the bar. They find them anywhere else. They slide into their DMs, and then they're like, "Hey, you know what? I could do this."
You gotta remember,
Or social media.
Yeah.
They have to have access. So guess what? Some way, somewhere down the line, they have access. How are they getting that access? Because trust me,
yeah, they get access every single way. They could do it through social media. They could do it through just showing up and being there physically.
So
they could do it anyway.
3 men here. I'm keep and I am married. I'm keeping it real. Listen, if we all sitting here in a room and 3 women came in there and nobody knew nothing about it, you ain't going to be tempted? Yes, you're going to be tempted.
But you just said.
So you just said, but they wouldn't.
No, I said
you just said they
wouldn't.
They're totally gonna.
It's the access. It's the access. That's how they get those.
Bro, but you just said if you make this money, if these celebrities should have messed with a regular person.
Very contradicting.
Yeah, it's contradicting.
A lot of contradictions.
I said I'm not going to mess with a woman that makes more money than me. There you go.
Can I get the Gerber? I need Gerber for this guy.
Hey, baby,
listen.
give me toenail clippers.
Look. So Allison said money doesn't mean anything. Let me tell you something. When you see, so now you talk about materialistic, right? Let me tell you something. When a woman has that same thought process, what do we call them, Jenna or Ayanna? When a woman has that thought process that he has, what do we call them?
Gold diggers.
We call them gold diggers, right? Penny pitchers, right?
Yeah.
And when they frown upon, and men say, "Nah, we're gonna treat them like hoes. We're not gonna give them respect. They out for the money." So when you saying that, what you're saying is you the same way. It's all about the money. Love is love. So if you fall in love with somebody and they don't make as much as you, what do you call that? Because that's the thing about love. We don't pick and choose who we love. Because love is just something that just happens organically.
Wow.
So if you catch feelings with somebody, it should never be a thing about money. Materialistic things should not be a thought.
All right, so look, that's part
just like when you get married, hey Jenna, remember on your thing, right? On your show, what did I tell you? When you get married and you sit there and talk about a prenup, what I say? The moment you go into a marriage and say you want a prenup, now you think about finances. You think about if you got to think about what I'm going to lose.
Jenna,
you should not get married to. No, hold on, I'm talking. That means you do not have the trust because when you go in a relationship, you're supposed to think about forever. Once you go into that marriage and you sit there, I want a prenup just in case.
It's supposed to be forever, but these days it's not forever. It's never forever anymore because marriage is a joke now.
You're right, but that's not the point. The point I'm making is this: when you get into a marriage, it should be, oh, this is my one. You should not go into that marriage saying, let me protect myself just in case. That means you're not going into it 100%. Because when you go into a marriage 100%, you don't have those thoughts. You're thinking, this is my soulmate. We have soul ties.
But there's no consequences for dissolving a marriage. There's no consequence. There's only rewards.
Can I share a secret with you?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jen.
Marriage is just a business. It's just a piece of it's just a contract.
That's right.
I said that.
It's a literal contract.
He's the only one that's delusional up there. Delusional.
But the thing is I mean, if you want that,
he got an ally. Marriage is not a joke.
I think if you do enter that contractual agreement, then I think that you both need to be on the same page as finances. So in my case, whoever I marry has to sign a pre and post-nuptial agreement for both of us, not just me. I'm going to sign one too. And I'm going to tell him that he's going to have to get one drafted because anything that he accrues after we get married, of course, we're going to both, match finances. That's a whole nother conversation. But I also feel like that the man and the woman both should have their own separate money as well. I'm a firm believer of that. No man or woman should just give all of everything in one account, because what happens is a lot of times when people divorce, somebody wipes out the account and screws the other one out of bitterness. That's why I feel like there should be pre and
post. That's the problem with a lot of the marriages, though, is that's what wind up happening.
If that happens, you got to charge it to the game.
People get angry and bitter.
Jenna, if that happens, you got to charge it to the game. Because when you go into a marriage, you don't go into a marriage thinking that what if it don't work out. If you go into a marriage told what if, don't get married.
And it's already over. It's already over.
Thank you.
Reality. Feelings change every day.
Thank you.
Look, I learned something though, Jenna. And then he said something about the prenup. All right, so in different states, the prenup protects if you come to a divorce, right? The state won't be involved. You guys have written up a written agreement. If this was to happen in your divorce, these are the things that you would abide by. So it's a written agreement that the state don't have no control over. That's what a prenup is for. So the state, you laughing? I was
No, I'm
educated
laughing at
on
the
this.
No,
comment.
it's a
I
comment.
was laughing at the comment. My bad.
Oh,
Because Larry is on one today. He's
I'm
on
gonna
one.
get, I'm gonna get with Larry too in a minute because I he said earlier. But look, so what that does, it keeps the government out of it. So now it's because it has to be notarized as well, so nobody can break that. So if you guys to get a divorce and it can't be broken, so now it's terms in that prenup that you both agreed to. So let's just say you have a pension and you said, look, this is not part of the agreement, you can't touch that. So he signed off in that agreement that he can't touch your pension, vice versa, you can't touch my pension. So what we
That's
have
what a prenup
agreed,
is, though.
no, listen, that's an agreement that they have to have. So she says, this is what I want if we get a divorce, and he said the same thing. So it's agreement that they make up prior to them getting divorced. Now, if they get the
That's
divorce,
a prenup.
listen, I'm telling you what it does though. It gives them the order to say, look, this is what's going to happen. The judge won't say nothing. He can't say anything. It's already written. So the government don't have no parts of it. They don't get nothing. That's what I'm saying to you. So because
We're not talking about the
That's-
government.
That's actually not true.
no, it is true because guess
No,
what?
I know it.
Oh,
Because prenups are majority of them are actually overturned during a divorce because they're not written correctly, they're not figured out, and most laws actually cancel them afterwards.
states.
Well, and that's why I said a postnuptial agreement as well, because my attorney advised me
Yep.
to not only get a prenup but get a postnuptial
Right.
agreement. as well.
Postnup is
Right away,
important
anything
as well.
after marriage, then they can't come back and say, well, this clause doesn't cover this because she
Right.
got this 10 years later. A
Right.
postnuptial agreement covers all of that, so they will have to sign both.
Right.
And
Yeah,
like
a prenup is kind of it's
I'm signing it too, though.
yeah. Unfortunately, a prenup has turned out to be kind of a nothing paper. The postnup is probably the most accurate
That's what's gonna hold up.
law enforcement one.
Yep, but you have to have a prenup to have a postnup.
Right.
Yeah.
So yep.
So,
And they got to agree.
Go ahead.
Right.
I just want to change gears real quick and go to this other topic real quick, man. I'm gonna start with Ayanna. And I'm gonna go with Ayanna. I'm gonna go around. Ayanna, who's to blame for a man stepping out on a relationship? You're Jenna crazy. Go ahead.
Way to put her on the spot.
That's a tough one because it could be because of the man or it could be because of the woman.
And break down both sides. Why do you say both sides? That's the first I heard both sides.
Examples.
It factors with both of them because the fact of the matter is that a man will feel like he's not getting what he wants at home, so he's gonna go find it somewhere else. Say vice versa with a woman. If she's not getting what she want at home, she gonna go find it somewhere else. But she's still gonna be with her man, and he's still gonna be with his girl.
Yeah,
can do it.
I know what you're saying.
I agree. Some of them do it, but if they're not getting nothing at home, then they're just gonna find it somewhere else.
So is the man to blame for actually carrying it out, or is his significant other that's lacking? Is it her fault for lacking?
It goes both ways.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I feel like it goes both ways.
Okay, Jenna. Whose blame is it for a man stepping out on a relationship?
Correct me. If I'm wrong, correct me.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You're not a wrong opinion. No wrong opinions.
I agree with Ayanna. I think it's both of them. I think it's a two-way street. However, I do feel like we are all grown and we are all capable of making our own decisions. Is the woman 50% responsible for not realizing that our man is lacking something? Because as a woman, we have intuition. We can sometimes tell if our man is feeling a certain way. You can see it in his actions, the way he treats you, how he speaks to you, all of that. And so I think a lot of times that's how we figure out that they're cheating, is because you can tell. You know when your man's cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's if she doesn't at that point sense something is wrong and try to correct her behavior, then she can
Right.
be at 50% at fault too. But at the end of the
Right.
day, he is a grown man. He is capable of making his own choices, and he's also capable of communicating his needs and what is lacking. And that is his job as a man to conduct himself with discipline and respect and integrity, and to love himself enough to be able to come to his wife or woman and convey those needs. And if she does not step up to that at that time, then that's her
Right.
fault. He cheated.
Now I was gonna pass it to Chef, but I'm afraid. I'm gonna save him for last. Danny, who's to blame for a man stepping out on a relationship?
Yeah, you saved me for last, brother.
Yeah. We know how you're gonna go for another hour. So, for Jenna, I'm gonna.
Save me for last.
Go ahead.
So, Jenna, I'm gonna work off of what you said. The woman, you said that the man should tell the woman that she's lacking or whatever thing. But the problem is that the woman should know that she's lacking in it. Yeah, that he's not satisfied. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that why would it be the man's fault or responsibility to tell the woman that she's slacking on this thing? She should already feel though she's slacking on it, because if you can feel that your man's gonna stray, then you should be able to feel that you stop doing something to keep him. But my answer is, if you're gonna stray, break up. That's it. There's no reason to cheat. If you're already thinking about being with someone else, then it's already over. So just break up. Don't do that. If you have an emotional connection with the person, but you don't have a sexual connection with the person, okay, fine. Yes, maybe that's something you talk about. But realistically, if it kind of stopped, then it's kind of over anyway. Unless it's a marriage and it's a long-term marriage, then sometimes that just happens. The sexual part kind of fizzles out a little bit, but then that's when you've built up the emotional relationship, and you just keep on with that. But bottom line, if the who's responsible for it, your brother said maybe the man's a dog. Maybe he is. Maybe he just one woman's not enough, and that's a problem. That's a problem with the guy. But a lot of times, if the man feels like, all right, well, I'm not getting it from my girl, so maybe I should just find it where I can, and then just go. So it is what both of you said. It's both of their problem.
Danny, I sent you a private, message.
Yeah.
So you want to say yay or nay before Chef go?
Ooh, yeah, I guess you can.
All right, cool.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask permission before I said this. So let's use Danny for example. We talk about the whole infidelity thing, right? Like,
I'm worried about what you're gonna say though. So I'm gonna let it happen.
Like
just go. Make it happen.
Danny was like in a 12-year relationship, right? Yeah. And hasn't been intimate in the last 3 years of that relationship.
More.
Now he said 4? Okay.
More than that.
I see. He's a superhuman because I'm a superhuman because I couldn't do it. So he said he never cheated. This is my thing. If you're in a relationship and it's been 3-4 years and she ain't giving it up, if you go get it somewhere else, why are you to blame? Why is that man to blame?
Yeah, are you justified?
Huh?
Still in the relationship.
So what you want me to, when you want me to
he was in a 12-year relationship and said over 3 years he ain't getting nothing. Okay. What kind of relationship is that? I don't know how he did it because I couldn't do it. I would have controlled alt delete my way out that relationship. Like either that or hey, we can kick it, but somebody else got to come and fulfill those needs.
You would have broke up with them a long time ago.
That's what I'm just saying.
Des, you would have. You would have like, I'm out.
He does. Why would you still stay though? If you wasn't happy.
That's a bigger explanation than we have time for. But realistically,
okay,
it was. I was just used to I was just used to it. I got used to it.
Oh wow.
Whether or not I liked it or not, that's irrelevant. I got used to it.
Okay. Can you ask me the question, please?
I was just about to do that. Who's to blame for a man stepping out on their relationship?
Well, you asked a question, and I listen to you guys. Listen to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
The man steps out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping it real. A stat, gangster. Listen, if he steps out, it's his fault because it's his choice.
Right.
No matter what's going on, he chose to step out. So guess what? That comes with a consequence. It comes with repercussion. It's just that simple. It's no wiggling around it. It's just like that. If he chose to step out, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the situation, hey, listen, you don't have to do that. You can say, you know what? If this is not going to work, walk away. Because at the end of the day, if you don't walk away, you're going to have two people hurt. And what it's going to do, what it's going to create, hurt people. Because I can tell you right now, if somebody cheated on me, I'm going to be mad, bitter. I'm not talking about in my present current time now. I'm married. So that ain't even in my thought process. But when I was younger, oh yeah, I was wilding. And so guess what it is? What did it create? It created nothing but turmoil. It didn't create no happiness. So it's the man choose that. That's on him. You asked if the man do it. Now if the woman do it, it's her. She made that decision to step out on her boyfriend for whatever reason. If he ain't putting it down or he ain't supporting, guess what? She did it. Hey, it come with a price. You talking about a relationship? You talking about a marriage? Either way you look at it.
He said, you know,
He's on one.
He said, you know, he's confused. He said he's trying to pick his words wisely.
Hey, look, Larry on one because Larry behind the shade. Behind the shade.
He's a man too, bro. He can see right, bro. Come on, bro.
No, can I ask a question though? Can I ask a question? I know this is your interview, your podcast.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so quick scenario. You're the men. Okay, men.
Mm-hmm.
Me?
If you let's say you men, all three of you. I want all three of y'all to answer this if we have time.
Talk that shit. We got time.
If you're with a woman long term, y'all have been together 15, 20 years, right? And you've been cheating for years. Your woman finds out of nowhere on a whim after you doing this for years, right? She finally finds out that you cheated on her with two women. So she decides to sneak out and have her own affair. Who's to blame for that one? Is she wrong? Or are they both wrong? Or should he hold on? That's not my question. My question is, would you take her back? If she cheated on you one time with one man for 90 days after she found out that you've been doing it for over a damn decade with multiple women, and you finally stopped though, and she decided, but you were still cheating, so she decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it too. What's good for the goose, good for the gander. So she had her own little flame. Would you take her back?
Let me answer the question first. Can I answer the question first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, as a man, listen to this question. The man in me will want to say no, but I've been in that situation so many times, and I did take the woman back. So the answer would be yes. It depends on, because when it comes to love and your feelings, right? It's one of those things that we can't put our finger on, and that with love runs rapid, right? And then you have that emotional attachment. I don't care who you are. If you really have an emotional attachment to somebody or something, it is never easy to let that go. So therefore, if they cheat, you're gonna be hurt. You're gonna be pissed off. You're gonna maybe want revenge. But if you truly have emotional attachment for that woman or that man, it's not a light switch. You can't turn it off. So yes, it's a high probability that a man or a woman will accept that person back. I've done it plenty of times. So there you go. I keep it 1,000.
D-Dub, can you answer this? I this is crazy.
Yeah, hey Larry, we're gonna see through this. Get the Windex because this
Larry's
window
about
right
to
here.
go off. What?
Don't put all the Larry's things on there.
That man
telling
gonna
you
lie. Go
what
ahead.
DW says though.
Yeah, you go DW. Save him for last. He gonna give some bullshit.
The look on your face, DW's got something to say.
Go ahead.
So the woman should have left immediately. As the moment she found out, she should have just fucked off. She should have left. She shouldn't have bothered staying with the guy because then it's revenge. It's revenge, and that's an emotional thing. It's that she wanted to walk out on him to hurt him when she got hurt. All right, great, wonderful, but then you're both being childish. So instead of being the bigger person and being like, you know what, you're a piece of shit. I'm fucking out of here. I'm not doing that. And the guy should not take her back. The girl should not take him back either. Screw that. You already broke the trust. It's just done. It's over.
No,
if you go back with each other, hey, I'm answering. So then if they wind up taking each other back, or one of them takes it back, then that means you were simping for that person, or you're just in lust. You just want that sex again because of whatever reason, the excitement, whatever. But realistically, that heart tether that you had was broken a long time ago. So there's no reason for you should be getting back together.
So you don't think it's fixable?
So you wouldn't take her
Both
back?
parties? Sorry, go ahead.
So already the guy already screwed it up bad. Already real bad, almost to the point of unfixable. She stayed there. She was faithful. But then as soon as she found out, she should have seen it in big letters. Run. So she should have dropped his ass immediately, because if he was doing it so casually and so fine and not even thinking about it, not thinking about how she would feel about it, well, then obviously he didn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He'll do it again. There's no emotional thread with that. So she should have left. And then her actually going out and doing some other guy while staying with the guy, she just did it out of revenge. So therefore they're already at it. There's going to be no fix. It's just clean break, leave, move on.
You ever been in love before? Because I don't think so. But
and I've been hurt real bad by it. Real bad. Devastatingly.
Two people don't love each other if they cheating on each other. They don't.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We're gonna get to that. Hold on. Let me get you. Since you said you build on analogies. Hold on.
But Des didn't answer.
Who?
It didn't answer.
All right, go ahead.
No, they should not get back together at all.
But she asked, should they get back? She said, would you?
Yeah, would you
back with her?
If it's you.
No. If I have cheated 15 times and then she go and cheat, I'm like, okay, it's over with. There's no mending that back. If you set the terms and you said I did it 15 times and she caught me and then she stepped out on me, I'm not mad about that she stepped out on me. I said, okay, this relationship is over. We out here to each other.
All men, whether we cheated or not,
it was over before.
All men, it doesn't matter if we cheated a million times and we find out our woman cheated on us. Let's keep it funky. We still gonna give a fuck. We gonna give a fuck. We gonna be mad as hell. We gonna be like, what the fuck? You did that to me? Keep it real, bro. Keep it a buck. Men have that ego.
That's pretty selfish.
We say that's mine. So even if we do our dirty, once you do that, we gonna get mad. Let's keep it 1,000, man. Keep it 1,000. Now I want to give an analogy real quick. So when people commit a crime and they get locked up, right? The government say, what do they call that? Rehabilitation, right? Okay. So therefore, they say it's repairable. So if you said the justice system repairs criminology, right? Why is it infidelity repairable in a relationship?
Yo, that depends on the person. You can repair whatever you want to repair. If you ask the question for us, I'm not repairing that. That's over.
But you also said a man shouldn't do it. So that took you out the equation when you said he man. You didn't say me or I. You said man. So you took yourself out the equation. You said a man shouldn't do it. So and then Larry even commented on. He says, "Work through it or move on."
Boom.
So work through it. Work through it. That means it's possible to repair that.
Look. She said
that trust will be gone. That trust is gone.
Already said you did it. The man did it 15 times,
No,
then
Okay.
she
no,
Two times. She said 2 times.
15
Nah,
to 20 years. You've been cheating for over a decade.
right.
Yeah.
That you've been cheating the whole time you've been with that person. Like they know. Listen, you gotta realize if you've been cheating the whole time and this person caught you, right?
Right.
And now they go and do it to you. Hey, that's over. Come on, we gotta be realistic. That relationship is over. It's up to you. If you choose that, you's a fool to choose. You got caught. Guess what? Move on. Because I can promise you this: once you get caught in one lie, you're gonna get caught in multiple lies. So he only got caught one time. All the rest of them gonna get caught. And now she gonna deal with all that? No, it's over, bro. Over.
What did it say? It said, I've been there. My mother, what? My mother something
Shit.
hurts. Oh, my mother, it says, shit hurts. Now you must prove yourself to her. She owe you nothing. That's what he said. All right. So, all right. Some may say that, a person who steps out makes a conscious decision to betray the trust and commitment of their relationship. But what if they love their significant other, right? But and they don't want to lose that person, right? And they feel like the relationship is beyond repair. Like meaning like you both keep saying we're gonna make it work, and you truly do have feelings for this person, and that person say they truly have feelings for you, and neither one of y'all want to end the relationship. But like I said, no, it feels like you feel like nothing you do is working, right? But it's just hold on. It's just things that's missing, right? Like like Ayanna said earlier, it's just things that's lacking in relationships. You're not getting it, and you really don't want to, but you step out because you like I need this. It's some voids that need to be filled, but you try your best to make the relationship work. You know what I'm saying? And I asked you that question because a lot of people think that just because somebody cheat, they cheating because they want to be selfish. They cheat because they say fuck the man or fuck the woman I'm with. Sometimes it's that lack of belonging, that lack of communication. It could be, oh, I'm not having sex enough, or you're not giving me enough. Like I was saying, Danny, that shit right there for me. If I was in that situation, it's either I'm keeping it pushing, or I'm gonna keep you around on some here and there shit. But it's got to be somebody else that's gonna fill those needs for me. So what about that situation? If you both sit there and you claim you're trying to work it out, but it's just so many voids, it's not filled. Right, you got a lot of needs that just you're not getting it, and you step out. A relationship like that, is it repairable?
No.
You should have ended it. Find something that's more compatible.
Yeah.
Just so it's just cut and dry.
Not everything works out.
So let me look.
But you would never know unless you try, right?
Hey.
Well, you said you tried. You said they've been trying and it didn't work.
I'm gonna share something.
Right.
If it's not working at that point, it's just time to go. It's time to square up.
Move on.
So look,
Right.
You're just hurting each other at that point.
I'm gonna share with you, Dave, the everybody that's up here, right? I'm open and transparent because I learned from my mistakes. All right, so my first wife, right? We got a divorce, but in that divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had now she didn't know this. I told her this like once we got divorced and everything long down the line that I had cheated on her, right? She never knew, right? But we was already divorced. So in our marriage, I did that while we were married, right? And so things got ugly. You know what I mean? I wasn't being the king that I was supposed to be. I wasn't doing the things that I was supposed to do. So it got real messy. Right, so we got a divorce, and in that divorce, we were separated for 2 years. We were still legally married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one part of me was like, we might get back together. The other part of me is like, nah, I ain't doing it, right? So in that separation, Maria, I'm gonna say her name, Maria got pregnant, bruh. And I rock with her, the baby father, the baby, everything. I talk to her because I'm in a different place. But the moment I knew that she was pregnant, there was no more hope for me. There was no more, I'm going to be back with her. We're going to get back together. There was no more. That was it. We were still legally married. We were separated. We could have got back together. We could have, maybe. I don't know. But I was not willing to do that. I was like, yo, that's it. That's it for me. You know what I'm saying? So we got a divorce. And, and I share that with you guys because guess what? Once you break that covenant, y'all talk about it's a contract. No, it's a covenant. And I broke that covenant when I stepped out on her and she didn't know it. So look, because I stepped out on her, right? And she didn't know it, our relationship, our marriage went to the dark place. We were arguing, fighting about dumb stuff. And I was blinded from my own desires, my own wants. And guess what? I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do for this woman. You understand me? So we talk about stepping out. We talk about cheating. So it's all relevant because that's what happens when you step out on your significant other, your wife. That was just my wife, but when you step out, those are the things that happen. It opens the doorway up to disaster. And that's what it did. It turned our relationship into this messy, ugly thing. And like I said, she didn't know it, but guess what? My soul, my spirit knew that. And so guess what? I couldn't see it. So all I was thinking about, it'd be all right. And it really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so the mindset of having, when you cheating, that's it, man. You that mindset, it damages a lot. It damages the relationship with both of them. You're not trustworthy anymore. You're not loyal. That means you're not being honest. And when you don't have honesty and loyalty, bro, your relationship is not going to last. You got to be able to trust that person 100%. You can't trust him a little bit. You got to be like, look, I know if he going to go out, he ain't doing nothing. A woman got to know that. And that's part of being in a good, long relationship and then the marriage.
So I'm going to ask you this question and I'm going to pass it around. If a person decides to step out in the relationship, do you think that's because they fell out of love with that person? Chef, you first.
Point blank. If you listen, once you
just answer the question. Just answer the question.
Once you step
Please.
out, look, yeah.
Do you think it's because the person fell out of love with that person?
Yeah, you don't love them no more. Yeah. Once you do that,
I beg to differ, but I'll get to that in a minute. Danny.
All right. So yeah, if you're in love with somebody, you wouldn't even imagine being with someone else. So no, you're not in love with them anymore.
Yanni, if somebody step out, do you think it's because they fell out of love?
Hold on, man.
I think it's just they just like to have fun. They just want to have fun. I don't think it's because they fell out of love with them. But I just feel like they on the streets hanging out or whatever, and they see this good looking woman. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to get that." It's just like they just can't hold it back anymore. But I don't think they go out to cheat just because they fell out of love with them. I just think they do it because that's just what they want to do.
All right, Jenna.
To answer your question, I think that I don't think I think it's possible to love somebody and still cheat.
You go ahead and say it. It's okay.
In order for you to cheat on somebody, you're not in love with them. Can you still love them and cheat? Yes, but you're not in love. Yeah. Because there's love and then there's in love.
Mm-hmm. I say that so many times and people don't understand. There's a difference. There's a massive difference with I love someone or I'm in love with someone. If I'm in love with somebody, nothing will change anything. I am all about that person. But if I love somebody, I can have love for anybody. I can have love for anything. But when you are in love, you are super exclusive to that, just that one thing.
I beg to differ. I think it's possible. I think it's possible to still be in love with somebody and cheat on them, right? Let me tell you something.
But then you're not in love with them.
No. Listen to me. So what about somebody that you in love with, right? You're supposed to treat them with utmost respect, correct? Jenna, Danny, Yanni. So you ever been in a relationship when you got so mad, heated arguments, and you call them outside their name, you call them the worst thing imaginable. You did all these disrespectful things. You treated them like shit, like doormat, right? We all done that before, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's heat of the moment.
But exactly, but we say when you're in love with somebody, you don't do those things, correct?
No, when you're in love with somebody, you're still human. It's heat of the moment stuff. What changes it is that you will go back and you will say sorry. You will make it right after.
Okay.
But if you don't love that person, then let it go and whatever.
So, like I said, I just honestly feel like it's possible to still be in love with somebody and cheat, right? Because sometimes when people cheat, right, it's not for them. It's not an emotional connection. It's just a thing. Like I said, it could be they
Lustful
need
desire.
they need those voids filled. It could be something as simple as that. What?
Lustful desires.
It could be something that's just as simple as that, but they still in love with the other person, right? Because, like I said, okay.
Then that's weird. But then that's really weird, though.
Desire.
So that means that you're separating people who equate sex with love, and then people who think that just sex is sex only. Because if I have sex with somebody, I love that person. I feel something with that person, but I don't just think of fucking as fucking and that's it. Just leave, done. There's an emotion there.
So I'm not even gonna answer the question because you just answered it. So we all in this panel, we never had sex with somebody. Well, now I can't ask Jenna because me and her had other conversations. I can't ask Danny or Jenna. Yanni, Terrell, have you ever had sex with somebody that you didn't love?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that goes again. So that's what I was trying to prove. Because he said if he had sex with him, he loved him. I mean, that's crazy.
No, but hold on.
I had sex with a lot of wounded birds. That it was just real, I need to get my rocks off. But look, I ain't love that bitch.
But let's keep it funky though. When you at this age, we all. I mean, with the exception of Yanni, at this age, our mindset is different. Right. So you ain't going.
I was just commenting on what he said. He said we don't have sex with somebody that we don't love. I was like, it's bullshit. I've done it plenty of times.
But that's an ego thing.
See, look, you gotta remember. Once I got out of my first marriage, I got remarried quick again. But this ain't just with anybody. It's the right woman for me. You know what I'm saying? But prior to that, bruh, man, listen, I felt like having sex with just anybody was dangerous. I'm just serious. I'm keeping it.
It is dangerous to just fuck around. Then you find out.
You mess around with you mess around with the wrong person. Guess what? Now they get pregnant. Oh, and they see how much money you making. Oh, they like, oh, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, they want to get that money. You know what I'm saying? So it's dangerous. And so then not only that, look, you successful, and then somebody come in, they see all that. All they want to do is they want to put their hand in the cookie jar and take, and now you're gonna be miserable. So that's why I say it was dangerous. So I was like, hey,
I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna ask one last question before I get to this final topic, right? So we all like cars or jewelry or whatever it makes us tick, right? Right? Let's just say a car. Can you be in love with two different cars?
Man.
No.
I'm not loving a car.
Things in life other than a human being that you're in love with. Let's stop. Cut the bullshit. Jenna, what? All right, Jenna. You know what I'm saying, Jenna? It's things that we say you're in love with. Women say it all the time. I'm in love with this dress. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say what Larry just said.
Yeah.
It is possible to love two people, but it is not possible to be in love with two people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is very possible to be in love with one guy or woman and then love another one.
Yep. So I agree.
Okay.
Like I've had feelings for two people at the same time before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very confusing time.
Oh, well. You know why it's confusing?
Headaches.
You know why it's confusing?
Because it wasn't right.
There you go. You only supposed to have love one person.
Right.
Oh God. Don't get him started on that Jesus stuff.
That's where I thought it was going. It was because it goes against God.
Yeah, God. Don't get him started. Take the battery out.
It don't make a difference. It's a human thing, though. It's a human nature thing, bro. What are you talking about? You talking about God? It's a human nature thing.
Hey, hold on, Larry. You said stupid question. Please don't tell me you talk about what I asked. So in Africa, right? In some cultures, you have more than one wife, right? Like So you try the Africa in Africa they can't be in love with their wives. Like that's insane.
What happened?
See, like in Africa, in certain countries, they can have more than one wife.
Like
So
polygamy.
you try to say, as you try to say, they cannot be in love with their wives. That's lunacy. Oh, he's about the car. It was just an analogy, bro. Like so I just switched that up to in Africa or these countries that can have more than one wife or more than one husband. You try to say they cannot be in love with both. That to me is lunacy.
I don't think they can be in love with both. I think they can love both, because if you look at it, even in Africa, with all of the men that have multiple wives, just like in the Arabic tradition, there's always the number one wife.
Yeah, there's the main one.
They always have that tier, that
hierarchy.
There you go, the hierarchy. There's a structure to their. They always have a structural foundation where everybody plays a role, and there's always the main wife and then the following wife. So I think even in that situation that you're giving, Desmond, I'm sorry, but buddy, you can only be in love with one person. You can love the rest of your wives, but you can only be in love with one, and that's usually the main wife.
That's the top one.
Here's the thing.
That's the one that gets treated the best. That's the one that gets all of the gifts on, on
that's the one that can actually control the other wives too.
Hey, look, what does that create? What does
Confusion,
it create?
headache.
Yes.
Not only that,
we're not defending polygamy or anything.
If it's polygamy, it's no confusion. Everybody on board with it. Everybody on board. Where's the confusion? If everybody on board with it, it's no confusion.
We're not confusing that.
Everybody's on board with it, but even with polygamy, they still have that number one.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy.
Denny.
I don't know about you. I'm not being number two to nobody.
Hey, Denny. I know you got the monitor above you. Define the word in the definition for the word in love. The term in love. Define that for me, please.
It's not. That's you won't find in love.
You won't fall in love.
Yes, you. No. In love is in there. What are you talking about?
Well,
it implies to a strong romantic attraction and passion, often associated with a specific person. Love, on the other hand, is because I put the difference. But you see what it's saying, right? Mm-hmm. It's a strong romantic connection, right? Love is just being in love is just intensified. Love intensified. That's all it is.
It's more specified. It's more specific. It's more zeroed in. Being in love.
It's intensified love. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So if you all agree that you could love more than one person, you could be in love with more than one person, because being in love is just intensified. You just don't want to see it. Love, right? In love is they just extensions from each other. To be in love is just intensified.
Hey, D, we love our children.
You're right.
All right. So when you're
right, I'm glad you brought the children in. I'm glad you did this.
We love our children. That is a form of love. But when you talk about in love with somebody, it is a distinguished for that individual. Now, you cannot be in love with multiple people. You only can be in love with one person, because guess what? Love is a multitude of things. Guess what? We love our children. We love our family. We love we might even love some of our friends, right? See, that's a different level. To be in love with the opposite sex, it's a different level. And it's intimately to that individual. You can't say I'm intimate with somebody else and I'm intimate with this person too. No. I'm giving you my all. I'm giving you everything of me. So I'm in love with this person. I'm not in love. Come on, you lusting for the next person.
Fly good, Larry. Fly good.
Safe travels, Larry. See you next time.
Travels. Yeah, because I'm about to get him one of these panels.
For real,
yeah, right. We got to get him on. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Larry brought the heat.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going. All right. Let's go to this last and final topic, right? Real quick. Okay. Who want to start this one?
Start.
You said you, Chef?
No, I said start what?
Start what?
This next topic. This next question for the next topic, real quick.
You gotta tell us it.
I want to start it. It didn't.
What is it?
Never mind. Jenna, you starting in. Who's the homewrecker, the husband or the side chick?
Oh, okay.
The husband.
Why?
Because the side chick owes the wife nothing. Absolutely nothing. And
Right, the
half the time,
husband's the initiator.
exactly. And the
He
husband,
may not even tell the woman, the side chick.
Can she answer the question that I'm
Yeah,
asking you? God,
listen, Jesus Lord, it's a conversation.
he took the words right out of my mouth. It's like that is legit, exactly word for word what I was getting ready to say. Half the time half the time the woman don't even know about the other woman. And then now if they choose to stay, they're just dumb at that point. You're just dumb. But I think the husband is at fault because he's the one that made the vows to the wife, not the other woman. The other woman don't owe her nothing. And I used to feel completely different about this. I have had a huge change of heart. I used to feel like it was the woman's fault. She was the homewrecker, but I have changed my mind. I think it's the husband. I 100% think that it is not the woman.
go ahead. DW.
Me, no. She already said it.
Okay,
It's the guy. It's the guy. The guy is the one because she does the side chick doesn't even know or may not even know that there is a wife or a girlfriend or anything like that. So how is it really her fault? The only way it could be her fault is if she knew all along and she coerced him and she just kept going after him and then he got weak and went after it. Sure, all right, but yeah, she, of course. So then, but if she's complacent with it, then she doesn't take any of the blame.
Daddy, answer that question on the screen.
If they knew about it, if they knew about you before getting into anything, now what?
Meaning the woman, the other woman. If the other woman knew that you was in a relationship,
well, it's still the guy because the guy has to say yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna motherfuck you a little bit, but let me say, Yanni, who's the homewrecker, the husband or the side chick?
They pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I completely.
Well, you said the guy, the husband, chef.
We all in agreement.
Yep, unanimous.
Okay, it's cool. It's cool. So let's see. All right. So a lot of people say it's the man, the husband, whatever, because he make the conscious decision to engage in an affair, right? But the side chick wouldn't be able to engage in that if it wasn't for the man's consent and participation, right? That's what y'all saying, right? Because the man's the facilitator.
So you got to remember, she could walk away.
Facts.
With no question asked, she could walk away.
Yep.
Okay.
He got to answer questions. He got to defend himself. See what I'm saying? He got.
But we saying the question was who's the home wrecker, right? Who's wrecking the home?
He is.
He got to do. He got to look. She can walk away. The side chick walks away. He got the answer to everything. Oh, why you do this? See, why you do this? Not the side chick. Peace, deuces, they out. So he's left with answering, defending, doing all that type of stuff. So guess what? He the home wrecker because guess what? He made a conscious decision to step out and do this little thing on the side, and now is a price to pay.
Okay. So I was gonna say the side chick actively participates in an affair knowingly and purposely, right? So an argument could be made that she's the home wrecker because she knew about the relationship before she attempted to mess with that man.
Hey,
right? Okay. So,
let me ask you something real quick. Just for what you said. Look, if he home, right?
Yeah.
And he invites her in to his home, whose fault is it?
Listen, hold on. It's a debate question. First of all, it can go both ways. No.
I said he's home.
Yes.
And she comes to his home where his lady reside with him. Whose fault is that?
First of all, it's both of their faults.
No, bro.
You can make a case for both. No. You can make a case. We're talking about a home wrecker.
That's a home wrecker.
We can make a case for both sides. Go ahead, Yanni. What you saying?
No, I agree with your brother because the thing is that the fact of the matter is that he decided to bring her to their house. Right. So her popping up on them and she's at home. He's the homewrecker because he invited her. He invited the side chick into their house. So he's wrong for that, not her.
So me personally, most people they always blame, or you in a relationship with a woman, your significant other, 9 times out of 10 always call the other woman the homewrecker, right? That's been my experience. Oh, she's a homewrecker. She get on the phone with her girls. This fucking home wrecking bitch.
Yeah.
She'll never blame the man. Say, and Jenna, you just agreed to that though. That's what I'm saying, which is weird because you always in agreement. It was the husband. It was the man.
They do. Because here's the situation. The reality of it is these women don't give a damn no more. They don't care if these men are taken or not. As long as that man provides whatever they want for that moment, they're going to go with whatever. I had 2 of them do that to me. They don't care. They do not care. Matter of fact, they prefer boyfriends because guess what? Boyfriends 9 times out of 10, and this is just speaking from both sides, the side chicks usually get treated better half the time, if I'm being honest.
That's true.
Now, short term, it won't last long term, but short term, they get treated better. It's just the reality of it because the man tries to impress them so much.
Plus they also get the option of just cutting loose. They could just disappear with no consequences because what are they going to do? What is the man going to do if she just wants to just cut loose? The woman will just be like, the side chick will just be like, I'll tell your wife. And then he'll be like, oh, whoa, okay.
Blackmail.
Yeah. So it's easier. It's better to be the side chick, but
it is. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say unpopular opinion, side chicks are winning these days. I said it.
Wow. Listen, don't be no side chick. Be the main
chick.
Oh,
I'm not. I'm just saying. It's just the reality. I'm not a side chick. I've been with the same guy for years. But I'm just saying.
Be the side chick and the main chick. Be
all. You married? You married?
Who?
Jen, you married?
No, sir.
What you waiting on?
Not yet. She's working on it. She said it.
No, she ain't working on that. Let me get.
No.
Hey, bro, where you at? You better put that ring on that finger. Stop playing.
Has ran from several marriages, right, Jenna? I said Jenna has ran from so many marriages, right, Jenna?
She's a runner. She's a track star.
hey! Tell about the first time.
I was 17. And I crawled out of the church window in my wedding dress and ran away for 2 weeks straight. I did not want to face my mother because my mother wanted to marry that rich man.
She's a runner.
Oh, rich man.
You should have married him, divorced him, and took the money.
You definitely right? Of that song. Definitely the title of that song.
Yep.
Well, you should have married a pie for no money. That's not good.
Yeah. I fuck with that.
I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, that's good.
So do y'all think this?
Hey, we your man, and now I'm gonna get on his case and say, "Hey, man, what's going on? You ain't what's up?"
No, it's not him. It's not him. It's her. It's not him. It's her. It's her. He wants it. He wants it. She has unreasonable high expectations.
I do know.
That's what I was saying earlier.
I do know.
Women make it so hard for men out here. We can check up all the boxes, and that women still want that control.
Wait, isn't that next podcast?
Yeah.
Not
we're talking about Jenna. I know Jenna, and Jenna has unreasonable high expectations. Not only is she a runner, when people run into her, she said no.
She running away. She's like, nah, stop.
I'm
Heel.
She's I'm the alpha. I'm the dominant one. You the submissive.
Yeah, she's the dominant one.
She's like, heel, boy.
No.
Yeah, Jenna's a runner, man. That guy, her boyfriend wants it. He wants it. She's like, nope.
He does now, but you got to think like we're literally rebuild. We are starting completely over. We completely scrapped our previous relationship. We scrapped it and started completely over.
Yeah, a lot of people say exes are exes for a reason. Not with Jenna.
Woo, I'm trying. I'm gonna get
not with Jenna.
I have never taken an
exes are second chances for her.
This is my first time taking an ex back. I've never done that before. This is my first time.
Well, it's a learning experience.
Normally I run.
Just because it's an ex don't mean that you can score another ex over there.
Normally I run. At least I'm not running this time. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Look at you.
Because again,
Chef, do the thing. Whatcha?
I had flaws too. You know what I mean? I had flaws too. So there's stuff I had to fix too. So that's how I look at it.
Right. So do y'all think that the side chick lacks empathy for the other woman and even the man that
Oh
she's
yeah.
involved with?
Oh yeah. That's unanimous. Yeah, absolutely. She don't give a shit.
At all.
She don't
She's
care.
got all the benefit.
Hey, he taking care of her while he taking care of his main. She don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah, that was the best. She don't fuck.
God dang.
I got a good question. I'm gonna start with Danny, and I'm gonna go to the round. Danny, why do you think women, or men, why do you think women just decide to take on that role of a side chick, or a dude decide to take on the role of a side dude? Why do you think they accept that?
Well, I don't know how many side dudes there are, but because it's easy.
It's a lot.
I've never seen one. I've never seen a side dude. But if that exists, I'm good for it. I could. Hey, listen. Someone need a side dude.
Hey, I was a side dude plenty of times. Bro, my young days, I was okay with it.
But to
get
answer,
in where I fit in, and I get to go over here. Cool, I'm with it.
so you just answered it. It's because it's all the benefit, none of the risk. It's easy.
Hey, Chef, why do you think people decide to take on that role?
Because they don't have to deal. They don't have to do the main things like a main person in the relationship would have to do. They get to sit back and relax and just
all the benefit.
What about the ones that catch feelings for that person? Like they decide they take on that role of being a side piece, but they got feelings for that person. Like, dang, I wish that person was mine.
They want to be the main.
That's it. They chose to do that because they know because you catching feelings for somebody, but you know that they're in a relationship with somebody else and they're not trying to get rid of that. So you put yourself in that situation of catching feelings for somebody who don't even want you. They just want you because they just want to fuck.
See, not all the time. Sometimes it might be in a mutual agreement in the beginning, but sometimes feelings just evolve. Like it develops, right? And you be like, and you get caught out there like, oh, what the fuck? Because you went in saying, oh, I'm just the side piece. I don't want no relationship. But the more y'all mess around with each other, the more y'all start this fucking shit, and then y'all start developing feelings, and then what? That's
their fault. That's their choice. They chose to catch feelings, knowing that
nobody chooses to catch feelings. If you mentally you sit there and say, nah, it ain't gonna happen, and then when it happens, this is what I was saying earlier about love. It's just love is that it's strange. We can't control it.
That's their fault. They shouldn't have put themselves in that predicament.
You agree with that, Jenna? You shaking your head. You agree with that?
I mean, I've been in that situation, but I do agree with it. I mean, it is what we make our own choices. And if we happen to fall in love or catch feelings with somebody that we know we shouldn't, then we deserve to be hurt.
Like if you know you're not going to get them and you catching feelings, you just dumb.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you feel bad for it, but you just dumb. If you're going to catch feelings for somebody knowing that you can't have them, you're dumb.
But that's what I said. You don't know you can't have them in the beginning. Like, and you're not. When in the beginning, you're not saying you want to be with that person. It just those feelings develop over time.
No, see that's a lot of energy that you shouldn't have to deal with. You shouldn't.
I guess.
That's a lot.
But you take on that role. That's a lot of energy in itself. Because now you got to compete with the main chick or the main dude. You know what I'm saying? So either way you look at it, it's a lot of energy that you exerting.
Yeah, it's a lot of work that you know you can put so much. Like you're gonna put so much work into this, knowing you're not gonna get that person because they want to stick with their main.
Right. So I mean, I guess I'll ask when he come back. I just have two other questions before we wrap up. So if he pops back in, then I guess he's
on the phone.
Him. I'm not sure.
His phone was ringing.
Oh, okay. So all right. So by definition, right? It says a homewrecker is the person who is blamed for the breakup of a marriage or a family. By definition, that's what they say. It's the person that's to blame. Now, I say that to say this. Let's say a man goes above and beyond to repair the relationship, right? But the woman in the relationship is content and doesn't put forth the effort to make things work, right? Wouldn't that make her a homewrecker?
I would think it'd be more of complacency.
No. But let me say it again since now Chef back. I said if a man goes above and beyond to repair the relationship, but the woman in that relationship she's so content that she don't even put forth the effort to meet him halfway and repairing that relationship.
Okay, so
Does that not make that woman the homewrecker?
Side chick.
Huh? The main.
The main.
We're not talking about side chicks right now.
Okay.
Right now. So you got a relationship, right? Hey, Chef, I said by definition, a homewrecker says the person who is blamed for the breakup or the marriage of the breakup in a marriage or a family. And then the question I asked was, if a man, let's say the husband, if the husband's in that marriage and he's putting forth the effort to repair the relationship, but the wife is so content with the way things are, and she don't put forth the effort, doesn't that make the wife the homewrecker?
But you said she content.
She's content in the relationship, the way things are going.
Yeah,
it's a lot of rough patches in the relationship. Okay. Right? That man's trying to make it better.
Right.
But she's so content, like she's like, whatever, it is what it is. Say y'all been married for 10 years, and she's just like, whatever. I'm used to this, and that's what content is. So she's content with the way it is. Okay. She's not putting forth the effort to repair the relationship. Doesn't that make her the homewrecker?
But why would she be the homewrecker? You just said
because by definition, the person that is to blame.
Right. She content. She not blaming.
No. You missing it. You're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it's rocky. It's not going well. It went astray. But y'all still in that relationship. The man's the only one. The husband's the only one putting forth the effort to try to make that relationship work. The woman, the wife, on the other hand, she's so content. She's just like, whatever. In her mind, it's like, oh, it is what it is. It's been going on for so long. Whatever. And my question was, doesn't that make her a homewrecker? Because if the relationship don't work out, she is the blame because she didn't put forth the effort. Is what I'm getting at.
No,
y'all following now?
But what I'm listening, I don't know what they listening to, but what I'm listening to you, if the one time when the moment you say content, then she whatever it is, she's okay with. She's content. It's like
the relationship is fucked up.
He's asking if the fact of her being content, is she a homewrecker for being content about it?
Not what content.
If she's content with it, then how is there a problem?
It's not a problem.
Because he's trying to fix the relationship.
But if she's content, then there's no problem anymore.
She's not meeting him halfway.
If she's not meeting him halfway, let's say he calls it off. He calls it, fuck this relationship, right? That makes her a homewrecker. That's why I say, like, think outside the box. Yes, think outside the box. By definition, the person who is to blame for the breakup of the family or the relationship. So if she's not putting forth the effort, no, listen to me. If she's not putting forth the effort to make it work, and the relationship ends, she's at fault for that.
No,
she didn't. Listen, we all have these choices, right? We can make this, especially if let's say you have kids. If you're not putting forth the work to make the household whole, then you're at fault for that relationship going astray. Think outside the box.
I'm thinking outside the box, but how you explain it?
Your questioning is just odd.
Right.
It's not odd.
Yeah,
it's not odd.
No, it's confusing to follow. I understand what you're trying to do, but
everybody, do y'all agree with me?
Yeah, because homewrecking
it's difficult to follow.
Yeah, homewrecking is like when you say homewrecker, we're thinking cheating and all that. But it sounds like you're saying
homewrecking. But I gave you the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition.
But homewrecking is usually taking something that's already good and purposely breaking it.
Right.
Okay.
But the problem is if it was rocky, it's already broken. So you already had problems. So it can't be blamed on one person. And by your definition, that means every single breakup, there's always a homewrecker every single time when there isn't.
And that's why I said think outside the box. So you just said you just answered my question for me.
But you didn't give us any who fought. Like what was going on? You didn't give us no stipulations.
Yeah. Why were they arguing? What was the problem?
So, because she can't be no homewrecker if she she hasn't done anything, and he can't be a homewrecker if he hasn't done anything. So, what did they do?
It takes two people to make a home whole, right?
Yeah,
complete, right? So, if it's only one person doing it, and then like the relationship don't work out, then so that person that didn't do their job, their duty, is the cause of the household being wrecked.
But that's the thing. They have to actively do something to damage it. So inaction is not really an action. So her just accepting everything is not really breaking it. It's
Nope.
It's accepting.
you're accepting that it's ending.
But that's one of the reasons why we have so many broken homes and single parents.
What?
I don't know about that.
Why? Because
I mean, explain why.
The key thing about relationships, right, and making things work is communication
And
so
empathy.
So if you content and you just waving things off, there's a disconnect in communication.
Hey D.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that home wrecking though.
Yeah. Look, if she
like they're just drifting apart. That's not really home wrecking. Their relationship is not holding on anymore.
Hey, what if the guy is abusive, right? And she content. Right. Look, this is what you said. She's content what's going on. She like, all right, he come home, he get drunk, and he hit me. She content with that. Basically, she like, okay, she not gonna be the home wrecker because she okay with it. She like, I like getting busted in the head. She content. That's what we all confused about. You saying that she content about it, and he trying to make it work, but she's still content. She like, it is what it is. All right, whatever. You trying to make it work? All right, cool.
So in your example, did the guy cheat and then he's trying to make it with the girl? He's trying to make it better with the wife, and the wife is just fine with it?
No, I wasn't saying nothing about infidelity. I was just.
Well, I mean, usually home wrecking has to do with infidelity.
I got you, but you keep saying usually. I understand that. I understand that's usually what it's equated to. I understand it. It's a lot of cases out there. It's a lot of cases out there where somebody, whether it's the male or the woman, that's an alcoholic, and then they're considered a home wrecker. I was just in court when that term was thrown out there, because somebody was abusing alcohol and substances, and they call them a home wrecker for that. So it's usually equated to infidelity, but not in all cases.
But you're right. It's basically somebody took took an action and did something to take something stable and then make it unstable and broken.
Right.
So they took something whole and they purposely or whatnot broke it into pieces. So you're saying that she's compliant or complacent with the everything being broken and everything. That's not breaking it. That's just accepting that it's broken.
That's correct.
So it can't really be.
That's correct.
All right, I got you. Now, that's going to conclude today's episode. As always, anybody that's been watching, whether live or on the replay, continue to support. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like, share, always. I didn't know you had a light over there. Yeah, no, I'm
gotta look good.
So until next time, everybody have a blessed day. We'll stay in touch as always.
Yay!
Have a good one. Later.
Bye, Sippin' and Trippin' podcast.
All right, Jenna 230.
Bye.